And we are live.
And we are live. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Legends of Logomancy, the best TTRPG stream, Monday nights at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, this side of B.P.R.D. Fuck yeah. Thanks for tuning in as we are in Act 3 of our 4-part GURPS 4th edition miniseries, The U.S. of Fae. Ken, push that button. How you doing?
My YouTube's going off.
I am doing pretty darn good. One second. I got a late birthday present for myself in the mail, which finally showed up. Yet another patch for the patchy Jacket of Doom.
I think your mic is a little bit further away. You're coming through pretty soft for me, Ken.
Oh, please don't ever tell me I'm coming through soft for you, James.
Pushing rope on that mic placement. What can I say?
Starting horny.
Balling it up and shoving it in there.
That's better. Early birthday presents, late birthday presents. Doing all right?
Yeah, no, I'm doing solid. It is hot as balls in Alberta, and it is 10 times that hot in my office. But if you'll excuse the light in the corner, I've got a fan shoving as much of that out of the way as possible.
All good. I love it.
And it never impedes the doom.
Riley, how you doing, boss?
I'm doing good. Went and got some physio today, so I'm actually feeling pretty decent with my back right now. I'm not gonna push that luck, but you know.
No. Do a flip, Riley.
Straight
Do
up
a flip
backflip,
for the internet.
Standing backflip right now.
All right.
Oh God! Don't make that motion on stream, man.
We'll add it. In post. We'll spin them
for the new TikTok. That's a good TikTok. Right
Stop! You haven't put pants on yet.
Speaking of not wearing pants,
shorts on.
Speaking of not wearing pants, Mac, how you doing?
First off, I did decide to put pants on.
You fool!
License chicanery.
Because it's so hot, I'm gonna keep walking over to my friggin' freezer, and I don't want people seeing my cheeks.
That's fair.
I mean, we do need views.
Yeah, but this is YouTube. Doesn't work that way here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. You're a man. It's fine. You can do whatever you want.
There is that.
Get them cheeks out. Get them nips out. Do it.
You know, speaking of hot, so I dumped this on our season finale of Roll for Beer last week, but you'll see just off the side of my camera feed, there's a blue one chip challenge sitting there in a coffin-shaped box. And the moment that we hit 1,000 subs, I'm gonna make a video of eating it, just me sweating balls on a video on YouTube.
What's that they used to say about any attention is good, or there's no such thing as bad publicity? What's James?
I'm willing to sweat for my art.
Melting, discombobulating, talking loogies and cursing at the camera,
just draining blue out of my face.
Yeah, leaking dye out of places he didn't know he could sweat from.
Yeah, I love it. Speaking of leaking dye out of orifices, Neon, how you doing? Look, I take what I can get.
The segue we get is the segue we get.
I mean, if anyone here is leaking dye out of orifices, it'd be your local Eldritch Horror.
There's that.
Or they're just gonna die leaking.
That happens too sometimes, but it's less fun.
Oh, reminds me, Riley, Ken's wife tried my my rooster flask, and she went, "Oh yeah," and then took another drink, and then was like, "That's quite nice, actually."
Yeah, she had a little hiccough and was fine.
Yeah, and passed it back to me.
Are you talking like the stuff that almost killed Nathan?
Unfit for human consumption, aka the juice that makes people explode.
It never killed anybody.
I went blind for 30 minutes, sir.
Nobody called an ambulance.
Of course not. We were in the woods at the time.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
You drank that with no hospital around?
I admit I was the second person to drink out of that bottle, and this was 7 years ago. This was before my son was born. That's how I can date this bottle.
Is this like a hazing ritual that I have to do? Do I have to?
No,
you certainly don't have to.
Can I anyway?
You can.
But you shouldn't.
Ryan, one of the other players that we have. So I like really hot things. he took a couple dozen Trinidad Moruga scorpion peppers and soaked them in Everclear until the peppers were white, lifeless husks. And then when they're done, you pull them out and you put a bunch more in, and you let it soak until the Everclear is the color of liquid pain. And then you drink it.
It's just capsaicin and alcohol.
Okay.
When the first time I saw this, he brought it out for someone. It was a little bachelor party, and on the platter was a straw in case their throat closed. You could have a breathing hole for them.
Just in case anaphylaxis sets in,
Look,
whatever.
I set out some props for effect. That's all.
He almost
Props for
needed
effect. He was fine.
I have done this shot before, and when I did it, it was like first few seconds was like, oh, okay, oh, okay.
Oh God, why?
Yeah, and then the like
Sure.
automatic responses from the lower gut kick in, and all the sweat glands turn on all at the same time.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh no,
Oh yes.
Oh no.
I'm in danger.
Yeah.
To be fair, nobody was ever in danger. It was fine. Capsaicin is an illusion. It's
Yeah,
not real pain.
Yeah. No, pain is mental.
Yeah, you're fine. Anyways, speaking of mental pain, Ken, start GMing for us.
Where last we left our heroes.
Heroes?
Well, there's a caveat on that. An asterisk, I think, quite possibly some footnotes. It's in some paperwork somewhere, at least. But our band of B.P.R.D. field agents find themselves back on the landing deck of the Colorado complex. The sun is a glorious halo behind them, with the mountain range reaching up with its icy grip to the sky. And ahead of them, 3 massive helicopters have landed, disgorging, quite possibly, who they were supposed to meet. They're not quite sure, because there has been some problematic moments with lost time. However, with a certain degree of accuracy, that they're assuming they are, in fact, meeting with the Bicentennial Committee. In fact, a strange man has been ejected from the helicopter, coming down the impromptu red velvet carpet. Down the stairs, he's nothing special, no one you pick out of a crowd. A flop of hair, an unkempt shirt from a long helicopter ride, a suit that doesn't quite fit a man of his current stature. Maybe it did 10 years ago. He's let himself go. But in his wake, shambling down the steps with some sort of overt mechanical ambulation, has come a very recognizable figure, a sallow-skinned, leathery creature in an ancient, moth-eaten, worm-chewed suit, and a tricorn hat. And goddamn if that isn't George Washington.
Somebody help me back. I'm about to kill the president.
And your first impulses, sure, are to recognize evil and know it for what it is. The Lady Protector, with her innate knowledge of all things unholy, has certainly physically recognized with her eyes, but there has been no motion from the sword, no feeling of
Evil.
nothing angry, nothing specifically forcing her arm, nothing makes that muscle twitch in the quick draw reflex of the Lady Knight.
Technically former president. Larry seeing all of this and thinking back, and it's like, oh no, B.P.R.D. Process and Procedures Manual. And he reaches into his bag, and at the end of our last session, he had pulled down like the Colorado flag and like the third-party bullshit flag. It's like for the municipality that this mountain range is in.
Yeah, the we are here because of the state of Colorado, something.
Yeah, those are gone, leaving just an American flag in the middle. And he reaches out and he pulls the banner standard of the Unseelie court first out of his bag and clips it up, and then the Seelie court proceeding, because one was slighted and the other was offered M&Ms, and so the slighted
Interesting.
ones go first.
That is a very, very good first impulse from a man who knows his mortality well. So the first flag he pulls out and clips up to be drawn up by the cord is a stark white with gold threaded filigree. And I mean not golden thread, but like gold drawn to a thin wire and pulled through the flag to make this kind of embossed tree with roots reaching down and tree branches reaching up, and a crescent moon along the outside edge in stark relief. And it comes out to... It's not a standard American flag width. It's not a standard UN flag width. It's long and thin and tapers to a thin banner. And as soon as the wind catches it, it whips out and holds itself outward along the breeze, possibly against the will of the breeze, in fact, just to be visible, drawn up. The second flag is a dark, dark maroon, and with a similar idea, you think that the green thread may have once been ancient copper wire itself. But that is a tree in relief in the opposite direction, a moon curled around the other side, gibbous and fat behind it, with some sort of bleached, stark whiteness behind that feels... That's most likely bone ash, or some sort of strange, deathly grave smell. And that whips out in the wind, following against its brother, just below, just to the side, and then right up at equal height with each other. The question is, how well does Larry actually get this demonstration down for the assembled crowd? What kind of performance do you think Larry's leaning on at this point?
You know,
Fanfare, filigree, savoir-faire?
I think Larry has... Oh, you know what? I think I put some points into this. Give me half a sec to double check.
It's not in Dutch, I'll warn you now.
It's not in Dutch. It didn't need to be.
Also has savoir-faire.
Yep.
And can help.
So it's a very specific savoir-faire in this case.
She has military and letter agency.
I just need to double check what I dumped my points in.
Right time.
So I spent my points on savoir-faire high society.
Were you sure about that?
That was the closest thing I could think of for like specifically targeting the Fae.
I'll give you that specific wording as meaning a specific definition of
that's
nobly
the
kind of feel.
The default from the GURPS book that I found the closest to what I wanted. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yay, GURPS.
Well, James, I think that means you're gonna have to throw those bones.
Rolling 3d6, hoping for a 10. That's a 10.
Oh my god, you managed to remember that. So, holding yourself at attention, acknowledging the assembled parties, removing the flag respectfully, draping the flag respectfully, drawing the flag with an even-tempered movement, and doing the like same for each in exactly the same measure, just keeping it even. It all comes up. And the flags are raised. And behind you, the assembled parties, there are forms standing behind, nobly at attention regarding this all. Two figures on the left, regal, scattered with the diamond crust of God knows what kind of crystals on the dress, a suit of gossamer white, some sort of silk you couldn't possibly imagine, maybe even spiders, but two lithe figures standing thinner, taller than you'd expect, long, elegant ears, but alabaster skin. A regal pair, a king and a queen. Opposite them, a man clad in armor, a long, hideous-looking sword down his hip, easily dragging the tip into the ground if it wasn't held with his wrist at attention, bound as it is with a golden cord. Beside him, an elegant man with, again, long, thin ears, almond-shaped eyes. It's the major domo that you met earlier. So through the process of elimination, you have on one side the High King and the High Queen Mab, and opposite, you have the other court.
Which one is Washington a part of?
Neither.
America.
America. The Bicentennial Committee. And Oliver, starting to sweat a little bit, pulls out his handkerchief.
Feeling that pregnant pause in the air when people are expecting something to happen next.
Oliver, I would presume there are a way to open the bay doors, kind of thing like that.
Yeah, you guys had come out of the major elevator itself.
Yep.
These two regal groups are to either side of you, behind you. They seem to have stepped from the earth themselves, or just out of the shadow of where you weren't currently looking. And ahead of you are the three helicopters with the group, landing a good 50 yards away for safety, and the fact that the landing deck's only so long.
Yep. So Oliver, he bows to, or the other courts have already been invited. So he will greet the third group coming in, not yet a court of the realm, and welcomes them inside to join the other two courts. As we find a floor we haven't done anything insane to yet, which I think we should at least have a meeting floor somewhere, which we haven't messed up yet.
That is a great question. What space has not been ravaged? Operations has a corpse with its heart disgorged in it.
Mm-hmm.
The entryway hangar is barren, undecorated, and still bears the insignia of the von Braun Space Agency. Below you, where the clerks and computations would happen, is an infernal battlefield where the astroturf has been obliterated. The barracks below that has been erased from the history of the mountain by force, and has otherwise been set aside for the High King and Queen. Where else would you like to take these dignitaries? If not those places.
I have a blueprint somewhere?
You do.
Okay, and what rooms have we not gone to yet, Ken?
Very good, very good. I would like you to roll composure for me. In this case, just a will roll, just straight will, as you walk your way at a leisurely pace up to the dignitaries and bow and welcome and bid them follow you while you quickly check your notes.
My will is 12. That's a match.
Perfect. And you think to yourself,
I will actually use 2 points to make that a critical success.
Brilliant. Critical success.
Because a gentleman does not mess up a greeting between groups in a parley.
You think to yourself, where is neutral ground for an introduction? Don't overthink it. Take them into the empty hangar of the Von Braun, just straight across the deck. No fanfare, no elevator, no murder scene. It's a little vacant, but that's fine. That's nobody will be directly offended by that, and if they are, they're uncouth, and that's on them. You got this.
Yeah. And yeah, I greet them. I bring them in. I ask Larry, my dear buddy, my dear friend, please, a table.
Why does he look like Miss America accepting an award?
The table award.
Sure thing, friend.
Dad.
Oh, I get it now. Oh
Yep.
no.
He
Somebody's noticed Larry. Somebody's thought of
somebody
Larry.
thought about Larry.
Yep.
That's weird, which means cosmically in the next like 30 seconds, somebody's fucking chowder.
Absolutely, some horrible karmic balance is going to need to
Wait,
come back to right the
hold on.
You
universe.
just killed a puppy, my friend.
I feel
Nice.
like between the last few sessions, Deanna has noticed Larry often.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, what about the cheeks he was rocking?
I will
Yeah.
remind folks that the end of
Everyone
session
noticed the
2
cheeks.
culminated in several rolls against sex appeal, of which Larry did pass reasonably by at least one higher in the margins.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say is there's a guy in Vietnam eating some soup right now.
And a
where it
shark just
looks
jumped
up-
out of his bowl and ate him.
Just
Yeah.
out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Well,
Larry heads over and grabs a long metal table, Men in Black style, grabs the end and just like starts leaning back with a
Deanna will excuse herself from the party and go and help Larry pull the table out.
You
She
see
does
the table like
a very
lift up
elegant-
off the ground with Larry hanging from
Right
one
up.
side. He's like, I got
Yeah.
this.
Deanna does a very elegant bow to King Mab, Queen Mab, and then a little excuse me to everyone else, and then goes and lifts the table.
okay.
I'm just standing kind of in the corner staring at George Washington.
Mab will remember this.
Mab should remember
Like-
this.
Like not nicely, just like
Damon is somehow in this group the straight man who does look at the joke for its just on its face. What is this? Why is that George Washington?
Or are you like interested in his style?
Oh, true. That is a
No.
wicked suit. As
No,
dirty as
I
it
am-
is, it's
I
a cool
am-
suit.
why is this very old dead man walking in front of me? I've seen some weird stuff, but this almost feels like the weirdest.
Yes, this
Dead
feels like
person.
the weirdest.
Yes, the dead president. But yeah, no. Oliver, as the table arrives to the scene here,
Preface: you're heading into the hangar just through the entranceway door to the side, the man-portable size door.
Yep.
You're welcoming the dignitaries into the space. You're treating everyone with respect, of course. But otherwise, you're getting out of the open air, and a horrifying noise is being made while a metal table is dragged against a bare concrete floor.
yes. Oliver pulls out the briefcase.
The briefcase. Yes, the briefcase that has never really left his side, and yet somehow he knows doom would befall him if it did. It's an ominous portent. Everybody with eyes notices it, clocks it, and comes back to whatever they were doing when it gets brought out. But behind the Bicentennial Committee, disgorged again from both flanking helicopters, are what you might call squads of Marines, but they are dressed in blues. They are smartly coming to attention and lining up. They have dress rifles polished. They have white hats, the dark navy blue suit jackets with the white shirts and the high stiff collars that hold their chins up. They parade behind the entourage and march along, ushering forward everyone into the facility themselves. They recuse themselves outside, and as the door closes behind the actual political parties, they give a smart salute, close it up, and you hear them begin shouting orders on the other side to secure the landing zone and get these Hueys put away.
Yep.
But other than that, once you're through the door, once the metal squeaks back into place and that hatch is left behind, it's just the flickering neon above, the mild dripping of a strange dark stain that hits Larry on the shoulder, and a single table some folding chairs that are getting 20 years of dust whapped off of them, and a table.
Oliver breathes.
I must say, this is exactly what I expected of your facility. Yes, this is good. You've done good today. Yes, you with the face. Yeah, you.
Do I know which one is
supposed to be George Washington?
No. George Washington's kind of just staring listfully out into space with his jaw kind of.
Does he look like he's actively aware of where he is and what he's doing?
George Washington has. It's not a 1,000-year stare. It's a 200-year stare. It is the view of a man whose eyeballs haven't blinked and look like they've been re-wetted manually on the flight over, maybe. Everybody is definitely noticing as he kind of flops forward. He's at about 70% right now. Like, he's walking, he's upright, staggers every couple steps. There's no pattern to it. And there's like a whirring noise coming from his lower back where there's this like bump in the back of his suit. And you can swear you see like an oily exhaust coming down out of the back of it.
He's mechanical.
He's assisted. He's got a prosthetic. We don't judge here.
Who am I standing beside right now? Who isn't moving tables and chairs?
Really, that's up to you. Getting assembled in this space, where if you don't drag yourself, your girlfriend is kind of gravitating to that side of the table that Deanna's at least. Just kind of like tugging at you and walking with insistence, but not like dragging you yet.
I'll follow along to the table, mostly because I don't want to be standing near George Washington. Never thought I'd say on this channel.
Put that on the that's going on the list.
There's a bingo chart somewhere somebody has that's Legends of Logomancy bingo. Things that people say.
Actually, Riley, if you just want to add it to the whiteboard in the back, Legend of Logomancy 0, Ken 1.
Roll for beer, 13.
Yeah, at least by now. I mean,
I'm just thinking of like the BioShock robot of George Washington.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, that's from the Hall of Heroes and what have you. That's straight up animatronic. This is
a little.
See, I picture George Washington more as like Annie than I do as Big Daddy.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
right.
wasn't her name Sally?
So,
not allowed to paste stuff like that in the chat while I'm trying to GM.
As Oliver's helping people sit down, the two Fey courts on one side.
Both Fey courts politely declined and stand. But the gestures there, they position themselves. You're ushering.
Sorry.
Deanna will pull a chair out and very gently gesture for Gwen to sit.
Gwen? You know the Riker maneuver?
No, I do not.
Yes.
It's where you swing the leg over the top of the back of the chair and sit forward and then cross your legs so your crotch is highly presented. But instead of William T. Riker from the Enterprise doing it, it's a hot demon girl. He does, however, maintain eye contact with Damon while doing it. You get the feeling she's playing both sides against each other.
Do I need to roll for blood flow?
No, you can feel free to not resist that self-control roll at all.
For penis.
Roll for penis. Yeah, that's GURPS in a nutshell, folks.
My new podcast coming out on our channel.
It's me and Mac.
You've heard of Roll for Beer. We'll get ready for we
roll
sit
for
down
that
and
dick.
Yeah.
Sponsored by such stars as.
Oh God, no! Let's
Bad
not get any
Dragons.
sponsors.
It's just me and Mac discussing fictional crushes for an hour.
Oh God. Yeah.
So,
I'm not that cool.
With that
I-
overt sexual display going on behind you, how does Oliver get things sorted?
Oliver addresses the two courts, and then I guess, what would the term be for applying to be a court? What would be like the kind of terminology to be used here? Like
The proliferation of courts.
the proliferation of courts? No.
Consulting your eidetic memory and the handout.
Yeah, I have been reading it. This is an accord.
That's
To be signed by upon the B.P.R.D. brokering materials to the secure location. So, I look to the Fae parties, and I nod, and I open the case.
The third court, or otherwise the new court, would be presented.
Okay.
And we don't refer to them as the third court at all until that ink is fucking dry. Sorry,
Only in
that
the
blood
abstract.
is dry.
Only in the abstract, but yes.
They're a third party at this point.
Yep. So Oliver says, with the permission of the Seelie and Unseelie court, I will open the briefcase. And I look to both courts.
The High Queen and the High King share a look. They look to you. They nod, ever so slightly. The King of the opposing court nods to his majordomo. His majordomo nods to you.
I nod to the majordomo and not to the king.
Good call.
And of course, I nod to the king and queen. And I...
At that point is when you hear the gunfire. Ripping out across the deck through a concrete wall, as if somebody was firing a bunch of M16s at something through the door. In the wake of that, you could hear a pin drop. George Washington's just kind of standing there, puttering, literally. And he kind of just cocks his head.
I looked at my three companions and I go, may you please investigate that while I continue the proceedings here?
Absolutely, sir. And Larry pulls his gun and starts walking away.
Wow. Gwen's up on her feet with a lark and is just dragging Damon by the wrist and like putting his wrist on her hip and then like doing the swagger walk on her heels.
Yeah.
She's just, oh yes, finally.
Yeah, before Gwen has a chance to get up out of her chair, Deanna's gonna lean down into her ear and go, you know, we could make this Paris again. And then walk towards the door.
She's walking with just the stalk in her stride, specifically, just clinging to Damon, denying everything about that, just moving forward. But you rush for the door. Oliver clicks at the briefcase. And as the hatch is swung open, I'm assuming by Larry, first to the gun and first to the door, I would assume, just for the sheer luck of gravity. The hatch swings open. The wind slams it kind of out of your grip. And ahead of you, across the main deck, the helicopters have been tracking across the actual landing deck outward. And there's a figure on the far side, coming up the mountainside edge of the actual landing area. And, well, he's being fired upon, but he seems nonplussed by it. He has long, kind of ragged-looking robes. He has a ring of pelts around his hips, foxes and maybe wolf fur, rabbits, certainly. He has a headdress of crow feathers that come up over his head, and his skin is a chestnut brown. He has a strong jaw, and he has one large hand open and another holding his staff out into his side, waving at the guys shooting at him. The Marines have taken up 2 ranks, some to a knee, some standing over top, and are volleying opposing fire at the guy.
Larry is going to step forward and he says and James is going to butcher this horrendously. Kukwe, and he holds up his hand as Larry's getting a North American Aboriginal vibe from this feller.
Yeah, because he looks like a 6.5 foot tall Native American man.
And if anybody's going to be negotiating on behalf of America, that man's probably important to be here.
So is this like some sort of hand waving in front of the honor guard here to stand down, or is this just you waving while the gunshots are firing?
Larry's gonna yell out a knock it off, raise the hand in greeting to this man, and yell out Kukwe with hello.
Gotcha.
Deanna will back up
in their line of sight and just wait up.
Yeah, Deanna will back up with a very loud ceasefire from her military training.
Perfect. Deanna, I know you have a skill for this. I think it's called Soldier.
It is called Soldier.
I will give you just a Soldier a +4 roll for knowing how to yell "Stop firing" in the appropriate.
That is a succeed by 1.
Wish to talk him.
I hate clicking out of the window, but it's success by a margin, which means definitely Deanna projecting her voice with her presence, totally fine. She gets their attention immediately. Larry waving and yelling to the man as well. And he clocks Larry and also waves a little bit and grins, kind of, again, unconcerned he's being shot at. And you can see there are like rivets in the concrete, just paths where they've shot close to him and missed.
And currently in the UK, a man just got flattened by a walrus.
He doesn't know why, but it just popped out of the harbor and swished him. Karma. It's a bitch. But Larry, you can definitely see some of those furrows in the concrete are curved.
Huh.
As in, away from the man.
Larry is going to approach. And he
saunters. Larry's taking a pace. He's just getting his way across the landing deck. He's got to talk to you.
Yep. Larry looks around and he's like, oh shit. Adjusts his tie.
Emergency tie. The emergency tie pops out. Yeah.
Straightens his kind of rumply suit. And he comes up and he says, he offers his hand. He says, hello, sir.
Hello, little man. You have angered the great spirit of the mountain.
Oh, me personally, sir?
Yes.
Oh,
you're Larry, right?
Yes, sir. Larry's butthole clenches a little bit more than it usually does. He's like, oh
Wait.
no.
He has a name?
Yeah, I was told you by name. You're on a list.
Oh, that's unfortunate. May I ask your name, sir?
I am the one who speaks for the mountain. You could call me Dave.
Hello, Dave, who speaks for the mountain, sir.
What?
Yeah, his name's Dave.
Are you here because of Steve?
Well, no. I'm here because you guys don't listen really good, and they thought somebody who could talk might be a good idea.
James knows that this is insensitive, but I'm gonna say it anyway. And it's
1976 in America, and we're in Montana.
Yeah. Go ahead. And he says upon this Aboriginal man, have you been to America?
Yeah. You've done bad things.
Don't listen terribly well. You want to come inside? It's a little blisteringly loud outside.
I will take you at your invitation, and all that is accorded. Lead the way, little man.
Ma'am, I think I made a mistake, but he's coming inside.
It can't be
Oliver
that much of a
feels
mistake.
something innately magical happen in that room. And he clocks that every other magical person in that room, each of the Fae, notices as well. And they look at him, they look at each other. But this is happening 50 yards away through concrete walls, so...
As Larry's walking slightly in front of and to the right of this man, it's like, so...
he saunters behind you. He's like waving at the soldiers who shot at him. He's like, hey, yeah, good shot. You almost got me there.
I appreciate you being so cordial about all of this. That's real polite, sir. We have a meeting going on that I'm going to assume that you already know all about.
That's a good assumption. That's the first good assumption you've made.
I should give a warning. Some of the people that are inside don't have the best temperaments.
Like this one and his hot girlfriend. Yeah, I know. He gets whiny and she gets pissy.
Just says it how he
Don't get me started on the tall one.
Whatever you say, sir.
Where do you know us from exactly?
Well, there's rumors. Things talk to me.
Like the mountain?
It's been like 24 hours that I've been here. How could you possibly know about me?
You've only been here like 4 hours, actually, Damon. But
I mean,
like
since I was
you know where you've been?
Oh,
yeah. You know where you've been, Damon? And he just kind of leans down that extra foot to reach your face. You've been on my mountain.
I don't know what that means.
Did you miss my name? I'm the one who speaks for the mountain.
Damon. This is Dave. He speaks for the mountain.
Yeah, nice
the
to
mountain
meet you.
that we were inside earlier.
He holds out a hand like twice the width of Damon's.
I don't go to shake it, but I say, Have you seen me? Do I look like someone who climbs mountains?
He pats you on the side of the cheek once and puts his hand back. And then he gives a knowing look to Gwen, who is just shooting daggers at him. As she does, you know?
I don't think anybody has chairs inside. They all seemed like standers. Are you all right with that, sir?
Yeah, and if I need to, I'll sit on my ass. It's good. Don't worry.
Understood.
I'm not hoity. Just open the door. Just you put the rifle away. And he's just kind of like gesturing at the honor guard to fuck off. And they're all looking at Larry, and Larry is giving what kind of gesture to the squad leaders here?
Probably deferring to Deanna in every regard, and he's just like, "Yep, just right this way, sir." And like,
no, hold on a second here. No. This seems like I don't really know what's going on here, but it kind of seems like there's supposed to be, I don't know, some sort of important thing. Is he even invited to this, or are we just going to be causing a whole mess by opening this door?
Well, I can assure you that I just invited him inside.
With all the rights and
you
accordances.
Can cancel it.
Yeah, manners. I know you're a Brit, but you need to you got to have some manners. Come on now.
Oh, yeah. It's called a word and having a backbone.
And a firm handshake.
I don't know if you've seen what I look like, and not exactly the type of backbone having.
Yeah. Do a full open hand slap on the ass to correct your posture as you say that.
Damon, one of the things that you may not know, you don't have a your country has a very poor relationship with most of the world, and us by extension even more so. So we're just gonna roll with it.
I mean, that's a pretty good inclination. You should listen to Larry, despite Larry.
Sir,
all evidence aside, you guys have been bamboozled, and I'm just here to help. I would love to help.
I just throw my hands up in the air like, it's your funeral.
At any point, Ken, does it feel like Larry's
tingling?
Is Larry being whammied in any way?
No, this doesn't feel like when you lost time, but he has a spooky sense about him. Not in the magnanimous, you go blind by looking at him. He's a guy, definitely. He's people. He's got
But
blood
he's
in his veins, and
definitely like preternatural, supernatural, something.
yeah. And the best way to talk about it would be like the harmonies and vibrations of the mountain itself are visible in his shadow and the steps that he walks. Like he's the locus point of its concentration.
Kind of like he said he introduced himself as Dave, but it doesn't feel like he
But
said
he
Dave.
is the voice of the mountain.
Yeah.
Dave is just his name.
Yeah. I like it. I lead Dave inside.
Gotcha. There has been a pause in the room. Oliver's kept the calm, but you have another guest. As Larry and the lady and Damon and Gwen return with a man as tall as Deanna, with, as I said, chestnut skin, this chiseled jaw. He's kind of ramshackle looking, like he's got furs on a rope belt around his waist and a walking stick. But he is also barefoot, just big fucking toenails sticking out underneath like the edges of the robe itself.
Dave, sir, does the mountain require a represented sigil like these other folks have? Is that a thing?
Oh no. But I'm good. I just had lunch. It's solid. I'm spoken for there.
We don't
Like
have
I said,
food
I'll
anyway.
sit on my ass if I need to. Oh, and I'm not here to sign the accords. Everybody here. Hi, how you doing? Dave, speak for the mountain. You will be warned as I speak the voice of the mountain, as none of you have yet heeded the warning itself. I am here under invitation from Larry. Bait, this guy, him.
Seemed rude to
Just so you
leave him outside, sir.
Oh, there's Oliver. Good, that's the last one on the list then. Good.
Manners and all.
Oliver is just like, you can just see like there's red just coming up
boiling up his cheeks.
Just anger, like pure British anger.
Oh, he's just trouncing all over your presentation, speaking out of order, out of turn.
Yeah, it's just
introducing himself. He just stops, leaves a pregnant pause in the air, waves at Oliver. Did you want to hear the warning?
Continue.
Yeah.
If you wish to continue your discussions between the courts and the third party here, I'm going to meet our new guest, and Oliver. So excuse me for a minute.
Larry's gonna saddle up
around the group.
to Mr.
credit,
Brooks.
Yeah, they mingle in their own little triangle, keeping equidistant from each other around the table with the briefcase.
And speaking to each other about what the accord is, because I presume that's kind of what was going on. Is that there's parlay basically happening.
They're the signatories. You're just the ushers.
Yeah. And Oliver walks up to Larry and goes, "Who is this man?"
Oh, my name's Dave.
Thank you.
This is Dave, he who speaks for the mountain that we're on and inside right now.
Yeah, he just takes his walking stick, goes whack whack on the floor real loud. Just makes you cringe.
All of the soldiers outside, all of the bullets refused. They chose not to touch him. Is the best thing that I can think of. And then so they didn't. And he said he had some information about all of this and words, and it seemed reasonable that all of the people here would want all of the information before signing a binding legal document of, like, America.
All right, Mr. Dave. Dave.
Yeah, that's me.
But please, what is the warning that you have?
I'll give you a hint. You're not supposed to be here, and you're not supposed to do this. It's a bad plan. Raw deal. Yeah. Yeah, no, don't do it.
Like, who has this? Will somebody just tell me what the hell is going on?
Do you guys
Mr.
remember not remembering?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so pray tell, we tell old stories, and we have real old ones for old stories. Do you know the story about how don't fuck with something older than you? You know your
No.
place?
Well, I mean, like,
Just in general. Like,
Yes,
it's
I
probably
understand the terms and the
Like-
things
come
like
down
that,
to you
but I
guys at some
also-
point, but like we told it first.
yeah, like Granddad had a strap.
Sure.
Like,
Well, no, that's abuse, son, and that's you got to not stand for that. No. What I mean is, you got to respect your elders. And how old is this rock?
I imagine it's pretty old.
So,
Dave.
so when the mountain sends a man made of stone and does some stuff, what do you think the mountain's saying?
Oh, that was the
Well,
mountain.
Yeah,
We were informed that the other courts were going to be showing up and doing other untold things. The unrecognized courts. Now,
unrecognized.
yes, now I
By
have
what
some
body?
very specific things here that I need to speak to you about. One, what is the warning? Who is giving the warning? And what are they actually saying with their words other than punching and killing people?
Okay. You're all riled up.
Yes!
If you
Yes,
get a
I
minute.
am!
You get a minute to time out. Just chill. Okay. Damon, you're my new guy. All right.
You
Damon,
should
what I'm gonna
rethink
need
that choice.
No, it's cool. It's cool. She likes you, and that's a thing. So that's solid. Damon, you ever kick a hornet's nest?
No.
Good. You got some sense to you. Okay. So nobody should be here, right? Okay, this is
I've been saying
The-
that since I got here.
biggest, oldest hornet nest ever that there ever was. Like, hornets kind of have their attitude because this place was here first. Okay, if that helps bridge the analogy thing. So don't kick it, I guess, is what I'm like.
So hold on here then. So there's in the basement, we were down there, there was a bunch of flesh on the walls. Is
Mhm.
that the mountain itself? Is that the hornet's nest?
No, that's something that was imported here.
Oh.
It's Dutch, actually.
Oh no.
Larry,
Yeah,
Yes,
no, there should be.
yeah, ma'am.
there's
any
probably a
intel on
record
that one?
written somewhere there.
You said the heart was Dutch. You can speak it.
Well, I mean, so's our boss. So I mean, like, it's probably him.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
Wait,
something
are-
like that.
Are Dutch people demons in this world? Is that what
No,
you're trying to tell us?
No.
They're solid
asking you
folks.
about the
They're
meat.
kind of dumb. They came over and did some dumb shit, and now we got America. So fuck it. You know what I mean? It's not their fault, but it's like one of their faults. A lot of white people, a lot of you European types. They're just speaking here.
Well, what would you recommend we do? Because like those the old Fey folks, they seem on board with talking about this, and the other folks on the other side of the aisle, they also seem on board. And Americans are always going to vie for control because I mean, progress.
Yeah.
And I mean the natural order of things. And he-
Manifest destiny.
Yeah.
Hint, hint.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
Out of all the people, yeah, I get it.
Larry
But,
looks at his shoes.
Yeah, you do that. Damon, you want to talk some sense to these guys? You know how to not kick a hornet's nest, right? I don't care what the fuck you tell these guys. These Fey bastards, just tell them to fuck off.
Why did he all of a sudden become from like New York or Boston?
He's the voice of the mountain. He gets to be whatever
Boston.
accent he wants.
Motherfucker, do you know how long I had to fucking walk to get out here? God damn.
I don't.
Boston
worry about it.
Appalachians, you motherfucker.
Here's the problem. I don't have any pull around here. I have zero pull. Okay, I'm
Dave
still
looks
not
at
entirely sure
Gwen,
why I'm here.
and Gwen looks at Dave. And he cocks his head, and she just kind of shrugs, and she's, I'm working on it. He's shy. And Dave nods.
What, you think I'm
Yeah.
you think I'm just gonna go and like walk in there and be like, oh, hello, I'm in your fancy party and get killed? That's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna get killed if I go in there and say that.
You fucking start.
I thought you couldn't get killed, Damon. I thought Gwen keeps you from not dying.
It still hurts.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
mean,
just
he's got
like
a point.
capsaicin, man. It's all in your head. Doesn't really burn.
It's not the point. The point is that if I go in there like, oh, you need to stop, who do you think is going to A, listen to me, and B, care? No one.
I'm not saying you
I-
gotta convince him to your ideology. I'm saying piss him off and get him the fuck off the mountain. I don't care. But
Well, why
have
don't
you guys
wake
seen
up
the signs lately? Like, there's an
wake
ill
up peace
wind,
in the
the
basement?
moon has risen, gibbous. The son of Sam is going fucking crazy out in San Fran. That's all I hear on the goddamn radio.
Don't know what any of that means.
He's a murderer. He's just going nuts.
What the murderers do is murderers do. What does it do with this? I don't understand what the point of the connection here is.
Miss Carpenter?
Lady Protector, Miss Carpenter.
Yes.
Do you know what it's like to have someone tap you on the shoulder and say, that's some spooky shit, you should fuck it up?
Yeah, I know something about that.
Okay, this is me saying it out loud. This accord is some spooky shit,
Yeah.
and you should fuck it up.
You know, normally, I'd kill you where you stand. However, one doesn't live the life I've lived without understanding which way to kick a ball.
Oh, I
And
like
that
that.
being
That's
said-
innuendo.
Does her
Yeah.
spidey sense tingle at all on whether this guy's full of shit?
I'm trying to suss that out while I'm talking to him. Does
Okay.
anything Spidey
Consulting with the
sense?
sword, with the whole like evil spirits and pure badness. This guy is strong. Like, you can definitely at least get a sense of a vibe coming off of him. So he's not
Mhm.
just a man. But by no means is he coming across as an evil entity. He's not possessed by a fey spirit. He's not darkness incarnate. He's not powered by necromancy. He's not evil in your
Yeah.
classic polar. definition.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He in no
Washington-
way is on the evil spectrum. Washington shows up darker than he does.
Yeah.
What about like in a
Deanna
fast?
walks slowly, calculated, and is going to
Just
start
taking a
heading
little
towards
amble.
Washington.
In a
No, see, she fucking listens. Jeez.
in a fast talking sort of way, is like, does it feel like he's trying to deceive us in any way? Like, his words are plain, and the circumstance
Good
around
call,
him
good
is
call.
fucking like, he's just like, I'm just a dude trying to give you a warning, and if you had some sense, you'd listen. Has been a tale as old as time in America.
Larry can definitely roll against a 9 body language skill. Okay?
That's an
As
11.
Yeah. And you're getting, he is putting a straightforward signal forward. Even with you like shaking the dust off, you have a bonus to this roll, unspoken by the GM here, of at least a +4. He is overtly being forward with you about this. He's not he's not angry, he's not spiteful, he's a little irritated that nobody's listening, but like Deanna did, and he's like, oh, finally, fucking somebody listen.
Larry has done enough propaganda and public speaking in his time to know when somebody's trying to spin something.
Yeah, no, the vibe on this guy is pretty straightforward. You're picking up on it. He's not hiding anything that you can tell. And given all that time, he glares at Larry and says to Oliver, now, you had a second to cool your jets. You see what she picked up on? Do you get what I'm saying?
I understand, and I understand my orders, and I understand that there are weird things happening, but that's what we fight against. And in all honesty, you killed good men and women here.
No, sir. He walked up the mountain barefoot, and the bullets that our men shot at him.
Mountain killed people. Good
them.
people.
Okay.
So
Now-
you're going to give me the lecture of saying that I should be listening to you when you've done this.
I'm the voice of the mountain. And the mountain said, climb the fucking mountain. A little recursive there. I don't know why. But climb the mountain and go talk to these people. Here are their names. This is what they vaguely look like. This one's definitely Larry. You could just give them the heads up. They need a heads up. They need to know.
So it was the mountain that did it, and you're just his, Metatron?
Is that some kind of weird ass Japanese anime reference I'm not getting?
No, like the voice of a god. Like capital G God. Like
them Abrahamic types. Yeah, no, I get you. I'm picking up what you're putting down with the I read that one. It sucked, but yeah, I read it.
Oliver
Metatron, gotcha.
Says this accord is getting signed. We are the brokers of this deal, and that is what we were doing.
It's not a good deal.
How important do the Americans look?
Mr. Brooks.
Like, how high up the ladder are they?
So, taking them in right now with the somewhat perfect forms of the Fae and the frumpy dumpy governor from Alabama and the reanimated corpse of the general commander of the armies of the United States, who's only really here because of a legal loophole. They don't look great by comparison, if that's any description of them.
Do they look important enough that if they were to suddenly disappear in the Colorado mountains, there would be a problem?
I mean, you've got some plausible deniability running for you. I'll give you that. I mean, you're in a very remote location, and very few people know about. I mean, you have to have need to know security clearance and be guided by one guy who has it to get here. And even then, like, it's a pretty quiet place. I'd say not a lot of people know you're here. Not a lot of people you have to report to or explain yourself about.
What was
How's the end of Inglourious Bastards go again? You might think I'm going to get punished. I'm really just going to get a talking to, and I can stand a talking to.
What were our exact orders? It was just to bring these three groups together. Whether or not the accords get signed is not on us. It's on the three of them to negotiate a deal.
Yes.
Like,
they
if one of those
still.
Yeah, if one of those walks away and doesn't do that, that's not our problem. Like,
yeah, but we can't force that. Like, we cannot this is a deal with the Fae. B.P.R.D. does not want to screw our name over with the Fae.
Do you hold us in that high regard, sir?
On the mortal plane, we deal with a lot of things.
Larry's getting all glassy-eyed on you.
You're on the right table, but I wouldn't say you're not in a kiddie seat right now.
Yeah.
You know how it is?
We're hosting big boys at the table, and hopefully they don't roll over on us.
Yeah.
It's not even your table, man.
No.
It's just not your table.
I wouldn't shoot any of them in the head because it wouldn't do anything. But
oh no, that's super impolite. You don't go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
not like her. She's gonna go crazy. You might want to do.
Can I say that there was probably a couple of minutes while they were dealing with things outside?
Oh, easily. Like there's been soft banter back and forth here.
Yeah. Now, am I having any idea of what the deal is pertaining to, and etc. Things like that from that conversation?
Oh, just picking up on the scuttlebutt of their, and you're just absorbing it from the back end. Give me a perception roll at least, and we'll filter from there. But just your secondary stat there, perception.
8. And my perception is 12.
Okay, yeah, you're leaning in. You're listening. You
It's a librarian's talent.
It's hard not to notice the immediate reek of George Washington. It's like leather and old jerky left in the sun and then buried for 200 years and forgotten about, and the persistent smell of like motor oil that you're noticing, and a tinge of like heavy metals. You can place it, but you can't place it. Last time you smelled that, you were in like a lab at the B.P.R.D. where they were doing like cobalt testing.
Mr. Brooks, something occurred to me, sir.
Go ahead.
That stone soldier that crushed that feller, that went like, "Rah, you haven't seen the last of me." That was that necromancer dude that was raising bodies in the sewer that we were told to dispatch.
In Paris, yes.
Yeah. And then he was here again all of a sudden,
What the
and
fuck are you
there's
two goofballs even talking about?
there's a reanimated zombie.
The Granite Man did what?
You mentioned that somebody that got splashed was like,
As the GM, you definitely saw a Titanic man made out of granite smush a French accented necromancer. Definitely. It's
Yes.
the vivid imagery of your memories.
yes. And there's a reanimated George Washington over there that is.
Dave is
Yeah.
like, what the fuck are you two talking about?
Yeah.
He just
Um,
leans in.
Wait
So-
a minute. Wait. Sorry, but you said you spoke for the mountain. How would you
Yeah.
not know this?
Well, no, I speak for the mountain. And the mountain,
So the mountain told you things, but can you ask the mountain about that, Dave?
Are you guys missing time?
Yeah.
You know about the time that we've already been missing.
Kinda, but like, okay, would you say, on a lark here, would you say that the thing that the Granite Man squished was an exact memory of something from way back when?
Yes.
Reasonably
Using
so.
my idyllic memory.
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so we're dealing with that guy then. Okay, no, cool. It's all right. I know what's haunting this fucking place. That's cool. Yeah.
Sir?
Care to elaborate?
Okay. Well, yeah. No, the mountain's old, and
Mountains want to do that. Yep.
yeah.
Mhm.
And America's
gonna
kind
mountain.
of recent. So with those two goalposts in mind, before America, after the mountain, was man.
hmm
And before man, but after the mountain, there were things older than you already here. And I'm not talking dinosaurs. We all know about the goddamn dinosaurs. I'm talking about the things that live in the woods. Y'all ever heard a scream out in the woods?
Oh, yeah, like Wendigos and Skinwalkers
No,
and
you
stuff.
fucking didn't.
Oh,
But yeah, I think you're picking up what I'm putting down. So yeah, no, that kind of sums it up right there.
okay. And sir, I'm not smart enough for this.
Apparently, neither am I at this
They're
point.
they're tipsy, they know magic. Was there a veil of vision over something where if you couldn't quite get your eye on
Yeah,
it, it
yeah,
looked like it was
yeah, I
disappearing or
shot
something
it.
like that?
We killed one.
It made it look like a granite statue man.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No. Okay, so that was again him fucking with you guys. You should have seen the Granite Man kill that man.
Yeah.
Who had your orders.
Yeah.
Who was like, you don't follow these orders. It should have been real obvious. But like, you couldn't see him and you fought him instead. You
Yeah.
shot him.
Yes.
Deanna, at the mention of the Granite Man that she beheaded, is back in the group.
She's just like, hey.
She's like, she like catches the like sound of it as she's like eyeing up the back of George Washington, and she just
Have
turns
you
around
met
on her
me?
heel and
Guys
comes back.
thinking about chopping.
I was here
Hey, I
for
heard
none
somebody
of
talking
this, so
about
I'm just
chopping.
kind of sitting listening.
Yeah, we destroyed that thing.
Okay, yeah, you took it a step too far, but it was shrouded under a veil of you couldn't see it properly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you get a weird feeling at that time, like something was afoot? Like
Well,
No,
Yes.
someone was
I-
fucking with you guys?
No, actually,
Yeah.
this entire time, I, Oliver Brooks, have not felt at all slighted by the orders missing, the hour missing, and everything else.
You're
Excuse
real
him,
put out,
Mr.
eh?
Dave, sir. He's British.
Yeah, he needs to chill. Dave has a thing for you. And he reaches into his coat and he just kind of like digs around. And he pulls out an honest to goodness, like a little leather medicine pouch with like feathers and stones and bits and pieces. And he opens it up and he like pulls out a Bic lighter and a half a pack of like cigarettes from some punch machine at a drive-through. His change, digs around in the bottom. Ah, here we go. And he pulls out at the very, very bottom just a half-inch thick doobie. And he goes, here we go. Yeah, no, this is a good one. Grew that myself. Some good shit. You want to
Sir,
smoke that and get back to us. But
Is that
here you go.
is that a totem or a fetish of some kind?
It's
No,
marijuana.
It's weed, son.
It's yeah.
It's ganja.
The devil's lettuce.
Yeah, we're not going to smudge here, bud. That's just bud. Bud.
Oh.
Oliver takes it and
Deanna-
just puts it into his pocket and goes, "Thank you."
Deanna reaches into Oliver's pocket, pulls it back out, and puts it in front of his face.
Just rubbing it under his nose.
No, just holding it there with the like, you have to take this.
No,
Sir,
I don't.
No,
Sir,
no,
he's
it's cool.
he's made you an
He'll-
offer.
when he can. Yeah, just sooner than late. Just what I mean. Okay, hey, bud.
She'll tuck it back into the pocket and pat
Yeah,
it.
you share. If he shares that with you, you be gentle. Like
Yeah.
Nah.
puff and pass and puff and pass. Just
Damon, how do you feel about all this, bud? I feel like everybody Look,
Hey,
what's your take?
Damon's on board. He knows how not to kick a fucking hornet nest. Like
yeah, I get that, but like,
Oh, he wants to get the fuck out of here. He's just not gonna be the one to interrupt the ceremony.
God damn, you've got the vibe. Get with the going.
Oliver is just going to go, "I've had enough of this," and he turns and he goes back to the Accord.
I'm going back to the people who respect my sense of authority.
Hey,
okay.
Gwen. What's it like being with someone who never lets you start a fight?
I don't really have
It's
control
different.
over that. I would just like to point
It's-
out.
Honey, and have you ever been hit with the one word nickname response that just kind of countermands everything you just said? And she hits Damon with, honey, come on,
Ah,
start a million-year grudge.
I mean-
throw down and
just
Stay
kill
in
George Washington again,
Come
on.
yeah, come on,
baby.
Mm,
It's not like you'll be alive 1,000,000 years.
yeah. What do you care?
I will, and I'll
I'm-
gladly hold that grudge.
She's doing it again. Now look,
Like-
I said my piece. I gave a gift. I turned down your need to tell me that you didn't have a chair, and that's fine. I'm good. I've said the thing I came here to say. Y'all are being thick as you want to be. That's cool. I'm out. You good?
We're
Hold-
good, Dave.
Hold
Cool.
on
I'm
one sec,
go down
Mr.
the
Dave,
mountain.
sir. Here, and he taking in Dave's attire. And-
Oh god.
Larry reaches into his big old duffel bag over in the corner. He runs
Uh-huh.
over, sizes up the man's feet, and reaches in and he pulls out exactly the right size, like super warm. He was coming to Colorado and he planned to wear like 18 pairs of socks. So they're massively warm, like felt packs.
Just full stitched wool,
Yeah.
knee-high, thick socks.
No, they're felt pack boots, like Gore-Tex on the
Oh,
outside,
Oh, those.
fleece on the
okay.
inside, waterproof winter boots. And I come back and I'm like, just in case,
To be fair, what do you think Larry's boot size is? And what do you think
Larry's
this
probably a
man's boot
12.
size is? I'm gonna need you to roll 3d6 for me. Not
Sure.
against a skill, just as a general karmic vibe check here.
That's a 10.
It's Larry, so why am I surprised it's a 10? Yeah, so you come up with boots very obviously 3 sizes smaller than this man's feet.
It's the thought that counts, but
He looks down at you and he looks up. You know what, Larry, you can keep those.
okay, sir.
I'm not gonna say I turned down gifts on principle, but I will say I'm not gonna do the same thing Grandpa did.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, you get better, but you're doing all right.
All right.
Yeah.
I just feel you were doing us a pretty good solid, and I didn't want
the
that
voice
to
of
go.
the mountain.
Solid because of the mountain. I get it, Mr. Dave.
You work on that. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Damon,
When you were
you got the vibe. Deanna, kick it. Yeah. Oliver,
Yeah.
smoke it. Garrett.
Oliver's
Smoke
already
it.
gone back to the table.
Yeah, no, he's just
Is-
yelling.
what is Gwen doing? The way that my vow works, she can say she wants to do stuff, but if she's not actually actively forcing, I don't have to really like. It's a major vow, but if she's just like being playful, like I don't.
Are you asking the GM to tell you what the NPC is telling you to do?
Yes.
You heard it here, folks.
I have both the unlucky feat and I have a vow to my goth girl.
Oh yeah.
So-
Yeah, you're not going to forsake those powers. No, you got the vibe. Gwen wants to start some shit, and you are her agent in these mortal realms. Her heart beats behind your ribs, and it's a putter.
Give her, boss.
I'm going to walk past. I'm gonna walk past. Who has the weed?
Oliver.
Oliver, it's just sticking out of his pocket like a stogie.
No,
It's
no,
huge.
I'm gonna
it's
kind of
in
walk
my-
past Oliver.
Oh, it's tucked
and
in,
I'm gonna
tucked
try
in.
and snake it out of his pocket without him noticing.
Ah, very good. I'm going to ask you to roll. I believe is that sleight of hand or is that filch?
It's same thing. Default filch, sleight of hand.
No, filch is pulling things out of plain view. Sleight of hand is lifting it off of a person. But yeah, go ahead, sleight
then
of hand
sleight
it
of
off
hand.
Oliver there. Yeah. And Oliver
I
can
did-
roll perception. I will say Oliver is definitely unabashedly at a -2 to this roll because of his need to get back to the meeting. So
Mhm.
Oof. Well,
Yikes.
So Oliver is coming to the desk when he feels Damon slip his hand into his waistcoat pocket and honk his gut.
I will. Fuck it. I've been caught. I'm gonna keep trying to dig around.
Just fucking rifling around there, son.
I take my cane and just bap him on the head. Boop. And just go out of my pocket.
This is the fucking best. I love this. This is crazy shit.
As you do that, I kind of like. I need to see the gift you were given.
I'm just going back to the meeting, and I will pull it out and I'll give it to him and go back to the meeting.
Cool. I'm going to take it and I'm going to walk back to Gwen and I'm going to put it in her hand and say, light it up. And I'm going to have her ignite this in her hand so the smoke starts pouring out of her hand. Because she
Gwen,
asked me to stir some chaos and I'm trying to be sheepish about it. And this seems like the least destructive.
The letter of the law. Gwen wraps her demonic, taloned, blackened flesh fingers around your hands, cups them together with the doobie the size of a fucking hot dog in between them. And she looks you in the eye and she says, "Oh, honey, this isn't what I meant, but by God, do you have an imagination that could just shame the others?" And fire explodes in her palms and yours, and there's this haze of propane blue around the two of them, in this weird little embrace they've got going, and billowing clouds of dank smoke begin blowing into the room. Just a fog cloud 10 feet high and rolling forward with all the power of dead HVAC systems not pushing the air in this hangar. Just the tsunami of weed smoke wafts through.
Deanna lights a cigarette in solidarity.
Solid.
Yeah.
Deanna can roll health at all of her bonuses versus this utterly mundane effect. And everybody else gets to roll health versus dank.
Actually, Ken, may I?
Oh god! What is Oliver's immediate reaction to this stupid spookiness going on behind him?
He sighs, pulls out his etching, and will combine the symbols of create and air to blow it out.
I would love to see the wizard immediately slap runes on this. Please, by all means, both runes.
Yeah.
I succeeded by
runes.
6, by the way.
Oh yeah, you're standing right beside them, and you're just like, shit.
Sorry, do I have to roll for both runes or
Individual runes, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I got a 13 on create and a 6 on air.
Larry got a 14 on his health check versus a 10, and immediately rifles into his pocket for the M&Ms as he giggles to himself. We're gonna die.
I got a
A solid titter is coming out of Larry. It's high and weird.
Of course, Larry would purr.
Okay, so Larry.
Larry
no,
is
sorry,
just a lemming
Oliver's-
when he's high.
It's just a gopher.
Oh
I've heard gophers make that noise. So the 13 was against create, yes?
Yeah, yes.
But the 6 was definitely against wind. So, how does this go? Okay, so I'm going to need one roll against willpower on top of that because there was one failure there.
6.
Solid. Yeah, you're not losing your magical essence into this flub here. It's just you just took your etched runes and went pink and slapped them together and shoved some power into it. So your will was to blow away the smoke cloud of doom and just get that
Mostly
shit out
from
of
the
here.
table. Yes,
Yeah, just
mostly
away from the table. Okay.
Was he successful?
The dank cloud is still billowing out of the two of them.
Mhm.
Damon, absolutely unaffected because she does not will you to be a giggly idiot right now. Deanna, like a rock against the mountain. Just, what is this piddly ass shit? And Larry is immediately giggling like an idiot.
Because
But
this isn't a spell.
The cloud billows into existence right around them, and Oliver looks back at it from the meeting space, and the air around him just obdurates, he wills it not to move, and the fog cloud hits that and goes around it and billows down and out and tapers off to about a 6-inch cloud straight up like a Bad Prince music video all across the floor and dissipates out that way. But it does not fog bank over the delegates.
Oliver,
Or Oliver.
is-
Oliver's fine. Doesn't have to roll against health.
I'm just saying, like, Oliver in this sense has his instructions from the B.P.R.D. And
by God, will he follow things to the letter?
He's following this to the letter. It is literally his he made an agreement with another gentleman.
He
And
did.
that is my code of honor.
He said queen and
and-
country. He said
Queen and country. For queen and country. I cannot
Can I?
back off of that.
So I've got a bonus to the first influence roll on any kind of audience that I have.
Oh, just to show up and say hi? Yeah, okay.
Kind of. So as he's doing this, can I try and like make a bit of a scene and like calling out to the party that to partake, but I'll do it in like a kind of like a poetry way.
Accept the gift of my
Absolutely,
dank.
as long as you're rolling performance
The gift of
against it.
dank.
That's fine. I have where's my performance on here?
I do believe you have, if not oratory, you might have slam poetry. I can't remember how exactly we hammered it out, but you've got something along the lines of performance or public speaking.
I have talent poet. No, that's not it. I have fast talk, connoisseur, current
All right,
affairs,
you have your
literature,
choice
writing.
of carousing or fast talk. I believe that's how it came out. Are you bamboozling these people, or are you getting gregarious with these people?
I'm trying to get them to like tell them to turn the bubble off.
Accept the vibe, yo.
Partake, as it were.
Yes.
I believe that's carousing. For the situation of, here is a dank cloud that I wish for you to partake of, we'll give you a +2 to that. What else are you adding to this vibe here? What's your general pitch, if not the specifics of your speech here?
I kind of like channeling my outer Gwen. I think that there are you come here to partake in the festivities, but he's refusing to allow this to be something exciting. And I swear that these words of his will sound much more on par with what you're used to if you step outside the bubble.
I love that he threw shade and also nearly spoken Old English.
I mean,
we're going to call that an effective skill of 13. Give me 3d6.
They are refusing a gift.
Oh, and also,
of
now
their
you've
hosts.
got that bonus. Yeah, okay.
10.
Solid. Okay, so beat your own skill by 3. Now I roll 3d6 behind the curtain, and I decide just how much of a vibe they're taking here. I mean,
sorry, Riley. I was told I have to make a bit of chaos, and I'm trying to keep it subtle.
All good.
Behind the curtain.
It's this or I shoot
influence
someone in the face.
Yeah. Influence rolls are a bit contentious in GURPS. Sometimes some people agree with them, some people don't. Some people are like, I know what my NPCs feel like at any given moment.
I mean,
But right now, chaos is being sown. So the GM is going to respect RNGesus. Praise be.
realistically, we got them here. We got them to the table. You opened the briefcase. Our job is done. We can leave.
Briefcase isn't opened yet.
I thought you said you opened it.
Yeah, you said you opened it.
I
He
did.
stuck it on the table, and he went to open it, and I interrupted him with gunshots. I will give him
Understood.
that much, that it's secure
Yeah.
on the table.
Okay.
So he's just at that pull the trigger moment. My dear, I do believe this is quite bacchanal of him. And the High King leans to the High Queen and gives her a wink, and she gives a grin, and she looks at Deanna, and she considers Gwen, and she thinks, I don't know, it's a smaller crowd than I'm used to. What say you? And she calls to the other king and his majordomo. The majordomo looks offended, but he's got a lid on it. My king. And the king strokes his beard. I mean, it's not the 4th yet.
He's
What
William
say
Shatner
you?
now?
Washington. And the Fae consider the reambulated Lord of War of America.
He was growing more than cotton.
Let's party! And yeah, that rolls out of the reambulated zombie of George Washington. The delegate from the Bicentennial Committee is horrified, but he just lifts his hands and shrugs and goes, I can't argue with him, I guess.
Oliver
let's-
is just beside himself right now.
It's clearly a good idea because you know that George Washington cannot tell a lie.
So,
I don't know
Fae
with that one.
royalty flick their wrists.
That was Lincoln.
And
That was Lincoln.
the air on the floor full of dankness billows up, coalesces in like darts of smoke for each of them, like they just portioned out the room to each other, and they just hoop the mass of dankness to themselves with a nod to Washington, and Washington's like,
Are we, Mr. Brooks, sir?
yeah, that's
Sir, are we gonna use George Washington as a bong, sir? What with the
Oliver.
pipes and machinery?
Oliver
And
just
the
has-
accord is momentarily forgotten as the High
for
Court of
bong.
the Fae begin a mild revelry, and there's tittering in the air, and there's the sounds of light music coming through, and the dancing footpad of 100 feet prancing against concrete, and a liveliness begins kind of like billowing out of the shadowy places around you. And in that moment, you are met in that space, that airport hangar, with a revelry around you, a genuine face summoning of amusement begins.
Ooh.
Is this special weed or is it just regular weed? Does the Man in the Mountains weed have some?
It's
kick
extra
to it?
dank.
It's dank as shit.
It filled the whole room.
Yeah. Gwen looks at you and kind of goes, "Did you want to try?" And she just
No,
shuts off.
I'm okay.
Oh no! At that point, she just, "You're gonna hesitate? Okay, cool." And she turns off your ability to resist poisons, and you're hit with a wall of dank. And at this point,
It's in a room.
Damon can go ahead and roll health, and I'm going to ignore what he rolls and tell him he got an 18.
5.
Oh, perfect.
That
Yep.
18.
You unlucky bastard. That's the best looking 18 I've ever seen in GURPS. You wrote it with a 5. You saved numbers. Yeah, no, you critically fail this health roll, and you immediately are floored with
because of
fey magic infused weed smoke from a demon. Like, do I have to keep
This
describing
is what
this?
you're using your one unlucky today.
Yes.
Absolutely. If this is the best place to put it, this is the dramatic critical element I want to pause on. You succumb. You feel good. You can't feel your face, but you're having fun.
all social anxiety has drained out of you all of a sudden for some reason,
Oh my.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
but everyone's out to get you.
I don't know how would he be?
So normally he just gets very quiet.
He's a natural recluse, right? Yeah.
Very quiet, very quiet. In this case, it would probably be the same where like he feels at ease, but he's like what James said, he's like, everyone's trying to kill me. Because
You're not
this
wrong.
is the first time he's had a quote unquote clear head enough to think about what's going on these last few hours and what's happening. So as that happens, he sprouts demonic wings from his back.
Yeah,
And
Gwen's
he
down with that.
And he flies up kind of into the air.
Wibbly, 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 wibbly.
Just about like five feet
Sideways.
into the air.
He's just
And,
as
like,
good at
this-
driving
these-
as he is at flying stoned. I gotta
These
say.
beating wings, and he's just staring out at people, just like
Mr. Brooks, sir.
he thinks this is the end, and he kind of like pulls his pistol out.
He's like Batman in the rafters. all
There is a
fucked up.
revelry, and the Fae fear no mortal weapon. So by all means. But like
yeah.
you get just a little chorus of titters below you as you swoop over this. I've got to say, the airport hangar has filled with the shadowy forms of the mist-born creatures of the night that come to revel with the high kings and queens of the Fae. You have started a party.
Deanna will take 3 or 4 steps towards the king and queen of the Unseelie court.
Mhm.
We'll give a polite nod to the king of the Unseelie, and then bow and offer a hand in dance to the queen Mab.
Immediately roll sex appeal.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have a +4 modifier from your beauty.
Larry's looking
yes.
on.
I succeed
eating
by a lot.
M&Ms.
Oh, you do well. Oh my god.
Yeah, I succeed by a lot. My sex appeal right now is 11, and you said +4.
Muted, Ken.
Muted, Ken.
It's just a raw madam gesture from her, and I keep
M'lady.
rolling. I have rolled 2 reaction rolls, and reaction rolls in GURPS it's like damage. Higher is great. Like you're just punching through your influence. Like when I roll a 14 on an influence roll, that's high end of the bell curve, and then you succeed on the complementary skill check by like 6 or more. You boosted that. Did you technically boost that to?
I did boost that to a will +1 or a hit +1, so it's 11 for me naturally.
And with the +4 from your beauty, because she appreciates your beauty, that gets in there. So just straight up crushing the rolls today, guys.
And with her backhand, Deanna will lift up and undo her braid and let all her long flowing brown hair out.
There are whoops from you. It's like you have background music. Like just there's catcalling. It's like a Fox TV crowd from the mid-90s. Things go well. Deanna is playing to the crowd tonight. There are skitters and dancing. The music tunes up. Drinks are being handed out, and these were not summoned by mortal hands, and all that, but cups are pressed into your hands and you're scooped up in the dancing. Does anyone here resist the revelry?
No, Larry is fucked.
I know Larry's been melted on the floor since the smoke started.
Larry has
At this
saddled
point,
up.
he's kind of doing the wave across the top of the crowd.
He's saddled up beside the major domo, and he is.
I'm connected to Tyler's.
He's
Oh,
talking
Amazon
to
Echo's even
Alexa
in
or
it.
to Echo. Larry saddles up beside the major domo, watching this, and again, Larry
Just
is.
taking it up. This is a Tuesday to Larry. This happens all the fucking
Larry's
time.
munching on more pocket M&Ms, and it's just like fallen into old habits and is just waiting,
Perfect.
like popcorn meme.
Perfect.
Oliver's having a panic attack different from mine.
Yeah, I think Oliver might be the only person immediately taken aback by this vibe because Zombie
yeah.
George Washington is like high-fiving imps just with massive open palms. He's just swiveling at the hips and just screaming fey creatures in the face and
Mr.
like
Brooks.
throwing a thumbs up afterwards to just...
What
and
did you
he
pass me?
takes the package full on in the face and explodes everywhere, whatever that was.
I toss him a bright red flask.
It sticks in his forehead for a second and then flops off and
No,
clatters.
I mean Oliver.
Oh, Oliver.
It's
I
that
thought you meant
flask of
Zombie
gin we
George
were talking about
Washington.
earlier.
Oliver, do you accept the flask of mortal fluids?
I put the flask down. I grabbed the briefcase during this confusion, and I go to the elevator. Oliver wants nothing to do with this. This is 100% against everything that he has signed up for this.
Since when is manners and social niceties against, like,
this is
When in Rome, sir.
this is this is 100% against what his orders are and everything like that. And he's betraying his code of honor right now.
Yep, no, the gentleman's code of honor. This isn't what I signed up for. I'm going to make sure my duties are respected. I'm going to make sure the gentleman's agreement I signed off on is agreed on.
Yep. And
It's a
and
British way of
he's-
thinking versus an American way of thinking, which is like fucking A.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's going. I will come back after the revelry is done, and he's gonna go back to the command center and clean up the body that's there.
Politely
first.
declining
And
an
Yep.
army of people handing you horns and like not grapes, but like these orange beads of golden light. And there's straight up just asses are parading in front of your face as you're going. You're like, what is no? Thank you, please.
No. Thank you. Sorry, I do apologize. Not today, but maybe another. Thank you so much.
There is one moment, though. There is one singular moment that gives him pause. Sandwich. Wrapped in checker red and white paper, hot off the grill, direct from Philadelphia. You can go ahead and roll will +2.
Yep.
Because I know you want to resist. I'm giving you a bar to set.
I will use 2 points.
Resist sandwich.
Resist sandwich.
He's just like, no, for Queen and Country.
Queen and Country.
And as you pass by, your nose detects that was not a Philly cheesesteak. That was ambrosia. Summoning to your subconscious exactly what you wanted at that moment, but it was not Philly cheesesteak.
No ambrosia's as good as Philly. As I walk into the elevator.
Oliver escapes to the elevator. The hangar door screeching across.
Hold on. Sorry, I was muted this whole time.
Okay.
I have double speed when I'm flying.
Oh. Yes.
So, as I see him going to leave,
he's the one singular entity moving against the crowd. He's easy to spot, and he's round. Like, yeah.
Which, in my current paranoid state, makes me think he's doing something. So I'm going to fly over at double speed, get ahead of him because of this.
Oh yeah, you're unimpeded by the crowd. He's bobbing and weaving. You're just like, whoop.
Land with like a wing spread over, with wings spread over the door. Like, where are you going?
It is a big ass door. He's trying his best.
I am
just getting
not feeling a party at the moment.
Well,
please let me through.
When the party ends, though, that is when everything will happen, and people be in a better mood. Maybe Dave of the Mountain will have a better time with what's happening. Maybe everything everyone needed was just this. If you leave, I don't know. Why are you leaving? There's a reason you're leaving. Tell me why you're leaving.
I've had this conversation before.
I have betrayed my friend's code of honor at the moment. I need to take a minute to reassess and come back. This accord.
Are you actually going to come back, though?
Yes.
How do I see it?
I give you my word as a gentleman. I will be back in 2 hours after the revelry is done.
Oh, hold on. No. And I call Gwen over.
Just waving, gesticulating wildly.
And I
see
say
her,
to Gwen,
she's got a conga line of satyrs just.
There's Larry in the middle of the satyrs.
You will it across the room, 200 yards away. She's just like, she knows you need her. You need her there.
Yes.
She honks the satyr and flits over to you on her own gossamer bat wings of dead skin and flesh desiccated by time and wasted effort. And lands beside you.
I look back towards Brooks and I go, I'm sorry, I don't quite feel like myself here, but I don't believe you, so I want you to swear a demonic pact that you'll come back, and if you don't, you'll burn in a fiery death.
I've already done at least 4 of those. And again, word of a gentleman, I will gentleman this. And he will shake on that and he says, 2 hours, see you then. And he smiles and he sets his watch with absolute timing.
He holds up his broken watch, tosses it in his pocket, taps his head.
My wings will furl back inside of my body, and I will let you pass.
And when I get upstairs,
once the hangar door elevator closes and you can breathe again, air conditioning.
I will go up. I will go to a place. There's got to be a communications room.
Yep, upstairs.
Perfect. I wire my contact. And I think.
Hello,
we'll go
could you put me through to
Bernard.
Dr. Faust? That is a very good resource to tap at this moment, while everybody has an undiscriminate amount of time to wind up and down. But
Yep.
yeah, that
Well,
is
Damon's in the corner, just kind of like.
occasionally just rocking himself back to like, I can do this, and then he like has a flurious moment of like, you're waffling between manic, depressive kind of impetus, like you're constantly getting that energy and it's coming out of you, you're coming right back again, and you're also just waffled out of your brain. So, and Gwen is doing nothing but encourage it the second she sees it, and then like sitting back down with you, but like dancing nearby, kind of like not caretaking you, like that's what somebody respectable do, but she's keeping you with an eyesight no matter what. Sometimes she's flaunting it to make you like, well, yeah, incubus, you know, moments, you know, playing it up. But the revelry of a Fey party begins.
Pardon my dress, Your Highness. I did not expect to be partaking in such a fine dance.
She takes you by the wrist and lets you lead, and I'm sure it is it an officious dance or is it a scandalous dance? Where are we leaning on the spectrum of fuck around or find out?
It's it's just the right amount of royal for a queen, but on all accounts, it is no less scandalous.
So it's cheeky.
Oh yeah,
It's
okay.
Royal
cheeky.
twerking.
It's occasionally making
1976. Come on.
It's occasionally making a very flirtatious move in full eye shot of Gwen.
Classic. Just no
is-
matter what, there's a beacon of red light that follows you, like
Yeah.
a spotlight from across the dance floor. But yeah, the
And there
revelry
is-
commences.
One moment where a move is made, and while the queen is not looking, Deanna makes a quick little like come to Gwen.
Honey, I'll be right back. And she just yeets herself through the crowd, like just throwing imps and red caps out of her way, just kind of plowing through like a cow catcher, just yeeting herself into the dance. And there is a moment where the queen doesn't feel threatened, but in the little circle around the queen that naturally just gives her space to move and be,
Mhm.
you know, the high queen of air and wind and darkness. There's a space that is occupied there by nothingness and shade, and from there emerges blades in a defensive manner that may or may not be unseen guardians that you can't possibly fathom at this point because everybody's a little bit tweaked out of their minds. Deanna knows them for what they are, and they are malice sharpened into a blade, and then they're gone. Once they realize Gwen shows up, falters for a moment in her confidence, and then just starts a three-way weird-ass tango with the two of you.
Yeah, damn right.
That does nothing but derail everyone's attention for the next 30 minutes, at least.
Yep.
Yeah. It's dancing to the devil's fiddle and just reveling with bacchanal feeling all at once.
Mhm.
And if you were not Deanna Carpenter, I would say there's no way you're going to pass this, but I'm going to need a health roll at your +8 versus your mortal failings. And it's probably not going to crit fail, but we do have to check if she can keep up with this.
10.
Jesus fucking Christ. So that's a pass by 9? 8? It's ridiculous.
9. It's by 9 because I have an 11 base. You're muted.
Deanna Carpenter was built to do a few things very well, and we are finding out exactly what they are. And half of it is booty shaking, the other half is hitting things with a sword. I mean,
Yeah, that's exactly.
what
That's
have
it.
we made?
She's fit.
Yeah, and whilst tangoing between the two of them, she is absolutely playing both fields in feeding Gwen the "I missed this, I missed us," and feeding Queen Mab and pardon my dress, but perhaps we may not need it.
Ah,
Gwen's not for it. She's there to like cause mischief and shit, but she's wary. She is resisting. She is rethinking her choices and remembering all the reasons why you're her ex. And it's I mean, of all the two outcomes that could have come out of that, that's perfect. The Queen of Air and Darkness gets your top off and you don't know how.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, no, your shirt flies
It's the
open.
Fae.
It's the goddamn Fae. But yeah, you're
What have I
you're standing there,
done?
you're like, why is it so much cooler? Oh my god.
Larry
And
is
that-
eating a
yeah.
trout out of a stein that he got off of a platter, and he's just like, "This is really good. Have you tried?
So
This is
good,
really
no matter
good.
what I put in my face."
Why is it so tasty?"
And with that, folks, I'm going to say, with the Festival of Bacchus and a phone call to a friend, we'll be right back with more GURPS B.P.R.D.
Going to break. We got 7:55. We'll call it 8:05. We'll take a 10-minute break. Cool. Soon.
Chimkin. Oh.
And we're back.
Sweet Jesus.
Great googly moogly. All right, Ken, you got this.
Where last we left our heroes, revelry was being had in the lower levels, and the sound of it followed all the way up the elevator. This
Ken?
Whoa.
Ken, are you okay?
am I not heard?
You
Did any of that come through?
No.
Not really.
Nope.
No.
Awesome. It's crazy downstairs, and Oliver Brooks is in the elevator being British. He's headed upstairs with a sense of propriety that elevates him physically and socially.
I can only imagine that the audience can hear Oliver's theme playing in the background.
It's not
Yeah.
quite the baby elephant walk, but it's exactly what I want out of it. And Oliver finds himself in the upper section. Actual machinery is still whirring and humming away. Tubes, ancient in design, but still not designed to fail, hum and whir and thrum along. And you see a familiar bank, a big red phone, and a rotary dial. And paper instructions taped to it, ring 000 for outside line.
0 0 0.
Nuclear launch detected. The
Yeah, it's
machinery
one hell of a
hums,
line.
click clacks, and on the receiver's end, you hear a dial tone, inviting you to reach out to
Dr. Faust. A good friend of mine. We went to university together.
He is a good man, a reliable man of the arcane sort. Gave you your first book on runes. Introduced you to
Yes.
this whole concept.
Got me into the B.P.R.D. I don't know if I thank him or want to punch him in the face for that yet.
That's not to bring it up on the conversation. It might be a little
No.
touchy.
It's the one thing we argue about. That and the man we may have killed back a few years ago.
Water under the bridge. Water under the bridge.
Water under the bridge.
Yeah. He was from Courtney. It's fine.
Bygones. No, I call him up.
Very good. You ring, you get to the secure contact line, you dial out, and the international telephone service brings you across the great Atlantic Ocean, specifically into the drawing room of a man you know will always pick up that phone. Or at least you think he's in Sorcel at one point to always be able to reach him no matter where he is. You've never not reached him on this line.
No.
The phone rings. Doot doot. Doot doot. Hello! Is this my
Oh.
good friend Oliver Brooks?
It is. And how are you, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing well. Is this a service call or is this a time to chat?
Oliver takes out his broken pocket watch, thinks about it for a second, and goes, "Well, I have precisely an hour and 52 minutes and 48 seconds to find out what's going on with a Fey court deal going on at the moment." And
I dare say, my good man, did you get into bed with the Fae? Oh, I've warned you against that before, but here we are.
yeah, you know, it's our good old director.
Ah, yes, Dr. Brooks.
Yes,
He's a good man.
yes. No, he's not. You know this.
No, he's brilliant. I respect the brilliance.
You respect the brilliance, but not the man.
I mean,
Anyway,
yeah, well, it's
he's gotten me into a bit of a pickle.
pickle, you say?
Yes, a rather
Is it a twist?
rotund pickle. Yes,
Ah, yes.
yes, and I start kind of relaying what I can and things like that. I presume he also has clearance for
Yes.
most things in the BPR.
All the finer points, sir. All all the
Okay.
good bits. Oh, get into the deliciousness of it. Where are those good crusty feelings? Yes.
Yes, and I start going through everything, and I just start kind of relaying certain things. He's done this to me. I've done this for him.
Oh, he's a trusted contact. You'd never hold back on this man. There's no reason to.
No.
He's infallible.
Yeah.
Almost.
Exactly. And so right now they are now
No,
having
and
a
all you say.
revelry. Yes.
Bless you say. My God.
It is truly outrageous.
Outrageous. Definitely.
What?
Such an American thing.
Ugh.
Even made Madam Carpenter.
Yes.
My God. To be a fly on that wall. Hey, what?
Well, but
No,
I decided to look into this whole voice of the mountain thing. I thought I
Yes,
would
yes,
ask you a question or two about that.
Yeah, you'll have to excuse me. My attention's not divided. I've just been consulting the library while you've been speaking. Some of the
Of
books are
course.
animated, so it definitely helps. But let me
Yes.
see here. What can I do for my good friend Brooks? Yes. What can I tell you about what you've gotten tangled up in? Yes. Well, let's see here. So, for those of you playing the home game, Mr. Faust here is a contact bought by Mr. Oliver Brooks. He is effective skill 21. He is most likely entirely capable of coming through with exactly what he needs to when he has to. When the GM rolls against an effective skill like that, you have penalties based on the obscurity of knowledge or the ease of access of information. You have bonuses and minuses. Miss Deanna there, when doing what the crowd wanted, was getting up to a +4 and exactly right. When Oliver was distracted by his duty and his honor, he was at least a -2 on the penalty of the roll. It's a bit of a swing there. Even if I pose obscure questions, like all this wacky, disparate, crazy shit that these players have been encountering, even if I take that into account, I can't really fail the roll unless Dr. Faust rolls exactly an 18 on the die. He has that high of an effective skill. Even if it's penalized down to about 17 or 18, the mechanics of it are ever in Mr. Brooks's favor. And to put it shortly, he can crit on a 6 or less at this point.
Yes.
So, consulting the dice gods, on the topic of what the fuck has been going on, just in general.
Yeah, I'm looking for. I would like to ask. How many questions can I ask him?
I mean, you can keep going, but
I've got.
What's
just
the
two or
broad
three.
topic of the first that
The
you want?
broad topic of the first is this voice of the mountain.
Oh, and just the credibility
How
of like the ancient spirit of the mountain and what have you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I am nothing but a studious man, and first of all, just randomly hearing about the voice of the mountain, I'm going to be like,
met
okay,
the voice of the mountain?
a
Okay.
speaker of. Yes.
Oliver, the next time you return, I will treat you to a delicacy that you have never had before, because you have partaken in the presence of a man I have been wanting to meet since I heard of him. You've met one of the ancient sages of the Americas, predating colonial transcript in only spoken word history. That's how
Dave.
vague this ancient stuff is. And you say his name was Dave?
Yes, I see. This is the reason
What
I'm
a lark.
calling. It's the reason I'm calling.
It must be baffling, but
My
it's
friend,
just
you
his
call me.
mortal name.
Call me. I thank you.
He is the mortal channel for the ancient spirit of, to put it bluntly, I'd say the guiding spirit that runs the Rocky Mountains. To put it into context, if the Rocky Mountains had a consciousness and were themselves an individual specific spirit, he would be the voice and channel for them. You just talk to the Pope of that hokey native spiritualism that they have going on out there. We've never agreed with it, but they got something going on with that. Yeah. So yeah, no, you can take his word as law. He was right. Whatever he was talking about, he was not shooting with the shit.
Well,
He
then
was
that will lead
being
into
forthright.
Well, then that leads into the second question.
He warned you against the Accord?
Yes. Why would he do that?
So this, as the GM, the next question is, what's the vibe check on the Accord between this new Court of the Fae?
Yep. Oliver is currently, by the way,
Gotta check the GM notes.
he is currently pulling out from a container that was there that came from the army thing, a kettle, and the spare biscuits. As I would presume Dr. Faust is doing the same on the other side.
Oh yeah, you can hear him. He's got his animated tea set going. His cornucopia of hot Earl Grey, always.
Yes.
You know, those fine biscuits from down the way, the shop. That lovely lady.
Delightful. How is Linda?
Oh, Linda's divine. She still carries all the weight in her hips, though. I can't stand it. Just tempts me so. Anyways. Okay, beat by 10 on the vibe check on the Accords. Not a critical, but definitely even with unforeseen circumstances. Dr. Faust itemizes and specifies the weird portents he has seen and corresponding with, just the scuttlebutt of occultists talking to each other. There has been some spooky shit going on, and a lot of it has been culminating in the idea that something was going to happen in the next couple of days. It wasn't tied to the moon cycle, and it wasn't tied to like any specific phenomenon they could pin down. But as soon as you explained, I'm at a bicentennial anniversary event coinciding with a Accord with the Fae, he goes, aha, that's what that meant. And helps draw the thaumatological lines between, okay, so there have been energies we haven't been quite able to explain, and phenomena in the Americas specifically, that they've been coming out of Nevada, most likely, in the Reno area, that weren't really explainable. Energies, spirits of just diametric energy that we couldn't explain. And most of the people who went to go looking, we couldn't find their remains so much as their ashes. And it wasn't really twigging on what was going on. But the general idea is there's a new, powerful, energetic kind of fiery being that exists that we weren't able to pin down on why. But the general vibe that was going on was nuclear Fae. Yeah, it's something to do with... It's very likely related to those nuclear tests that have been going on for the last decade. With the Americans and the Russians.
Yes,
there was... the Tunguska event specifically was one of the comparable portents. But,
oh dear.
Yeah, we had suspected the Americans were dabbling in sciences that they should not have. You know how many European scientists they recovered after the war, before Rasputin reared his head? You know.
Yes, and the fact that there's currently walking around George Washington.
George Washington?
Yes.
You don't say.
No.
How?
I wanted to kill him myself.
My God.
And then it starts to click for Oliver, where he goes, motor oil.
Oh my. Do you think they manually ambulate him around?
Yes.
Was he giving off a necromantic vibe that you could taste? Or was it just mechanical?
Would Oliver be able to go yes to both of those?
Yeah, between eidetic memory and your discerning taste and smell, specifically, you describe the bouquet to him. Essence of cobalt, heavy petrochemicals, as well as grave earth, but nothing about sulfur. He asks specifically, nothing sulfur, nothing brimstone, and none of that. You would have gotten like straight up a wafting bad feeling. Like Deanna Carpenter has a monopoly on seeing bad shit. And wizards who dabble in the necromantic sciences give off a goddamn aura. She can pinpoint them, but they still smell bad. And absolutely none of that to you. Hinky, exactly.
Stinky.
He's just a stinky man.
He is stinky.
Oh, you bad necromancer. We're going, woo, and you'll get the bonk.
But
So-
with my bonk stick.
Max dying behind the camera, folks. Don't mind us. I'm gonna assuming he lost his bowl of pasta somewhere. Very good. He's alive. But Faust correlates with what you described to him, and he's like, they can't be using arcane sources to get him. It must be. You said you're in the Colorado Von
Yes.
Braun.
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Have you seen any monkey brains in jars attached to big robotic suits yet?
Not yet. No.
Keep an eye out for them. Yes.
All right.
The B.P.R.D. has a case file on this that I'm going to show you once we're all done and you come back. Yeah, knock on wood.
Yes.
But no, a Hellboy punched out a giant robot that had gorilla brains strapped to it.
Hmm.
This was some occult science spooky shit, yo.
I've spoken with the young lad, and yes, some of the stories he has told.
He's got some real zingers, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Tempts me to get back to the B.P.R.D., but just can't stand the pay scale. Here I am,
No.
literally printing gold sometimes.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah. It's great.
Well then, Mr. My good friend, it has been nice. I think I will ask you one last question. And do I sabotage this accord? And I'm asking
No,
as
just a
friend.
Wheeler Woe kind of vibe check from Faust.
Yeah.
Mm.
And there's a sadness in Oliver's voice as he knows that this would be breaking his code.
You can hear across the phone line, clear as day, Faust sucking air into his teeth, drawing back on his pipe and thinking, ooh, good point, old bean. That would be a sticky wicket. Because on the one hand, Queen and Country.
Queen
On
and
the
Country.
other, you don't soil another man's bread.
No.
But if, in my professional opinion, I could offer some sort of guidance, I would say I would look hard at who benefits from these Fae becoming accorded with two other courts that together might be equal in opposing them. You always need at least 3 legs to make a stool. Checks and balances, sir. I won't tell you to go against your word. I won't tell you to go against a handshake deal with Faust. Not my advice, not my cup of tea. It's fun. It's Broom. I mean, of all the people who could use a pegging, like that man, you know.
Yes. Yes.
But always turn me down. Never knew why.
I'm glad that I'm not the one bringing all the energy of this type into the stream.
It's a vibe, baby. Just an old, centuries-old wizard from Britain talking about his afternoons.
Yes.
You don't rub another man's rhubarb.
But
I gotta say, that's some spooky shit you're dealing with out there.
yes.
Just as an aside, the Native American fellow mentioned a skinwalker, at least.
Yes.
Very specifically, an entity from before the dawn of man and after the creation of the world that
Yes.
has lived in the primordial forests of Northwest America for untold eons.
Yes.
And it's specifically fucking with you.
Yes.
Take it as a sign, my good boy. Maybe learn its true name and shake its hand. See what it wants to do. I don't know. I'm a fucking wizard.
Oliver.
Faust
Thank
is
you.
Shatner
Shotguns
now.
appear in a schoolyard just cuz.
Yeah. Oliver laughs and goes, "Thank you, my dear friend."
Yeah, no sense of right and wrong. I'm gonna go back to doing weird shit with Simuracula. Bye-bye.
And there's like just a dial tone after hearing, "Get back here, Simulacrum!" Hangs up the phone. Never quite the same after a phone call with that man. Oliver thinking, then goes, I presume there's someone listening in. And he taps and goes, is that said, would I have any kind of idea of what that creature would be called? From any of my studies or anything?
Oh, yeah. You want the specifics on how to summon it, you mean?
Yeah.
Occultism +4.
Okay.
It is spooky. It is infamous. It is a specifically named thing in a specific tome.
That's a match. But you
Oh,
said
and at the +4. Yeah, so
I had 15. I'm going to match it. I haven't spent any of my points.
no idea what to improve myself on, so I'll just buy crits. You fuckers. Yep. Very good. Okay, so based on Faust's description, based on the Speaker of the Mountain, you know what this creature is, and you know its will. These creatures are here to punish man for his folly. Take you down a peg at any given vibe check at any given time. Specifically, they are to teach men their mortality, and they are to remind you of your place in the great circle, which is you are close to the earth and your graves are only 6 feet below you. And in the great wheel of moral consciousness, they're not there to teach right or wrong. They're not there to teach something like that. They're there to teach you that you must not dabble in that which man was not meant to know. Otherwise, you will get to know me, because I am the first thing that hears you knocking upon the door of the darkness. But
That's
you
some-
know how to summon a skinwalker, is to speak plainly to it and refuse to face the back of a room. Better if there's a door behind you, because it will be drawn to that threshold and will come into your presence. To specifically protect yourself from a creature like this is to face it, meet its eyes, and unwaveringly face it without fear. Stiff upper lip.
You know,
So-
you've kind of described the B.P.R.D. in your description of these creatures.
Nah.
So Oliver will put his back. So you said back to the door, right?
Yep. Back to the room, willing it into existence. Best if there's a door behind you, because it will be drawn specifically to that portal. But
I'll knock 3 times. Breathe in with a cup of tea in hand and a second cup in front of me. Because it's rude not to. I invite the creature.
You sound so enthused.
30 seconds, be right back.
Oh.
Tonight's episode is brought to you by us.
Us.
Brought to you by
So
Skinwalker.
how's the revelry going, by the way?
Oh, it's great. It's great. I'm sure there's been some
what's
smooches.
going on down there?
Yeah, we're dancing still. It's a
yeah.
delicious time.
Tangential segue to just people and revelry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My dog was trapped in my room, and my door had claws scratching at it, which I thought was in my head. Okay, so I'm spooked. In this
Perhaps
moment-
it is
Sorry,
your
hold on.
steez that has been messed with.
Okay, good. I've got a door behind me too.
In this dark moment, Oliver wills Skinwalker to approach. An open invitation, a cup of tea, just courtesy, but he places his back to the door. And as the creeping tingle reaches the back of his neck, every ancient instinct from ape to upright man comes alive at the same moment. The hackles are raised on a square foot of your back. Every hair stands on end, and you hear 2 footsteps deliberately enter the threshold of the door.
Good evening.
Do you turn to face it?
I do.
What Oliver sees is it's upright. It is the width and height of an entire office door. It's stooped, enough so that its brow sits over the threshold, and its 2 unblinking eyes focus on you. Red and deep. The rest of its form, you can't make out. Shaggy, ragged edges. Hands that curl to the length of its body up against its toes. Fingers as long as your arms. And a mouth that curls up and disappears into some kind of shaggy, pale fur. Do you know why I have come?
No. I do not, and that's the reason why I ask you here.
You must be warned. The new creatures cannot be allowed to live.
The new creatures.
They are made of man's hand. They have been brought by Oppenheimer, Einstein, thinkers, men who do not know their place. You will stop this accord.
Oliver nods.
Speak it.
On my word, as a gentleman, this accord will not happen.
Swear on the sandwich.
Now, Oliver, holding 2 cups of tea, proffers one to him, or it, or they, or them.
Damn British politeness.
Quite.
Oliver lifts a hand, and from behind the threshold, the arm reaches out and closes around his chest, thumb in front and 7 fingers behind, each resting specifically in the small of your back. They cannot become real.
Who proffers from it?
Men must know their place. It is not hard. It is in the earth. The hand opens, drums on your back once. You feel 7 neat holes punched in the fabric of your suit. And the hand opens, closes around the teacup, and slides it out of your hand. You have been warned. It steps out of the threshold of the doorway and is gone. Your teacup is gone.
Oliver just kind of goes, I am going to murder that man when I see him. Referring to, of course, the director.
Oh, yeah, no. Broom is on your shit list, I'm sure.
Broom is on my shit list, and I am remembering the ways how to escape the B.P.R.D. at the moment. And going, well, there's some helipads out there. There's some chapters out there.
Like,
maybe they can take us away.
in character,
Mm-hmm.
Oliver works for the B.P.R.D.
Yes.
and he knows what our mantra and our mission statement is. And regardless of what a mission presents itself as, sometimes things go sideways and aren't what they appear.
Oh yeah.
You're not necessarily a traitor. It's just that
I've got a lot of explaining to do when I get back.
Yeah. You're gonna need a talking to, maybe.
Oliver's not stupid. He's a canny man.
Yeah.
He knows that there's wheels within wheels. There's always machinations. It's politic. It's water cooler talk.
Yes, but Riley, the player's an idiot. No.
No. Putting a couple of things in place here. Some years ago, Broom was the director of the B.P.R.D.
Yes.
Kind of an honorary title at its opening.
Mm-hmm.
Hellboy got brought into the world. The occult war with Rasputin happened. Things went a little weird. Broom stepped down from the actual leadership of the B.P.R.D. to just director of operations and field agents.
Yes.
And there's something to be said for having a tighter grip and a guiding hand on something you feel might become unwieldy underneath you if something gets too big and too letter agency about itself, you know. Broom might be trying to be an iron gauntlet in a velvet glove. He might be trying to massage things in the right direction by putting the right people in the right place at the right time, even if they don't have everything they need at the moment. But
the right people to make the right choices when presented with discerning information.
Yeah, it doesn't explain why, like, Gwen came along. But I mean, he might just have been handed a bad report on an Idle Tuesday. Like, yeah, we got this demon. Can't kill her.
You know,
useful.
Here's the thing. You're presented with two Fey courts, and you have a Deanna Carpenter on one side, and you kind of need somebody as tall on the other side, and Larry's of average height. He cannot fill that role.
Yeah, Larry isn't pitching the seesaw one way or the other. He's just there.
Yeah, I'm just in the middle.
Carpenter, you got to have a Gwen on the other side. And Oliver, to his credit, fits on that center spot with Larry just fine. You know, not pitching in with one darkness or another at any given moment.
I think Oliver heads towards the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to etch some runes, just as a bit of maybe one of those kind of nervous habit type things.
Yep.
But they're mostly protect, and there are some weakens that he's putting on the transformation rune and other things like that. Just some combinations.
Right, ready to go.
Yep. And he's thinking, and he's etching onto a couple of bullets.
He's pulled them out of the special pocket.
Yes. But he's putting weaken and transform on those bullets.
Hmm.
And he's loading all 6 rounds with those bullets.
Set phaser to stun.
And
it's a Webley revolver. It's a break top.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a break top. And what I'm hoping with those is to weaken the target they hit.
Absolutely.
But
if you can't pin down a mercurial, shape-shifting, transforming beast, you just stop its ability to do that as you hit it with a bolt.
And on the way down, I'm going to swap the paper.
Oh, really?
I'm going to swap the paper with a fake.
Just standard manila.
Something that looks kind of similar, if I can find something and use a transformation rune on it to make it look the same.
Oh, you can transmute it into a facsimile of it, at least. Okay, okay.
Yep.
Let-
And I'm going to
Um,
keep that paper in the hidden compartment in the briefcase, like into like a top sleeve or something like that.
Oh,
Can
it would
can
fit
it be
in the pocket.
Larry's personnel file?
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, it's Larry's personnel
You
file.
just like, flip, flip, flip. Oh, this is just dramatic irony right here. Boonk.
Boop.
Yep. And I transform it, and I hide that. I hide the actual paper in Larry's folder because I know that no one's going to look in it.
That's probably right.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
All right, this is going to be your choice: create, transform, or transform, create. But tell me which one you're rolling first.
Transform first.
Okay.
10. That's a pass.
Solid match.
And create.
Crit.
Gotta say, folks, sometimes the dice are the best storytellers.
Mm-hmm.
Oliver invokes the power of his own true name to disarm the runes on the briefcase. And the only possible key that would open this case slips in and pops it open. Inside, beautiful, seminal, virginal, specific vellum pages. 5 of them in a stack, neat, prepared, tied with a red, white, and blue ribbon. Pulled out, secreted away, and in its place, a 1-page description of Larry Bate. It's real short. His photograph is blurry, but good enough.
like Bigfoot.
Like
just slightly off focus.
like
to
they
the
kept
left.
trying to take it and just agreed that that was good enough after a while. And you invoke your runes and press the power in, and exactly as you envision it, a stack of vellum pages, perfect, tied with a red, white, and blue ribbon. You close the case. You're not technically lying to anyone, it's just a ruse.
We just
The
need
elevator
to be
comes
the
down.
fuck out of there when they realize that it is.
It's not your fault that they signed the wrong papers. I mean, it is, but I mean,
It is, but it isn't.
It's on them. It's all on
Yeah.
them. This is how I'm
Um,
choosing to legitimize this thought process.
But I'll go back down to the revelry, and I will enjoy a sandwich or two.
Oh no.
And when the party is ready, I will present the case. And I look to the other 3, and I look calmer and a little bit more poised, if you will.
Oliver's lost all that red that he was flushed with and all of his bluster. He's still just fat guy sweating as he comes out of the elevator, like as you do when you're carrying literally way too many pounds. But he's shown back up.
Mr. Brooks, sir, I've tried the ultimate Fey delicacy. And you need to have it. It's a newspaper, and they take fish, and they batter it, and then they fry it, and they serve it with potatoes.
Ah, yes.
He's literally just holding up Cork County fish and chips.
And like tomorrow's newspaper, oddly enough.
Yeah. It's just... Larry, remind me to take you to England at some point.
Yes, sir.
And pats him on the shoulder.
I'd say at this point, Deanna is reclining, probably on a beanbag chair of some kind.
Somehow there is a large chaise lounge that she is laying on. There are grapes. There are people with palm fronds.
Yeah, there's a small mob of folks who are like, this is exactly the vibe I want out of this encounter.
And she is socializing with the queen still.
Mhm. Oh yeah, they're just hovering with her entourage, and there's some well-to-do looking folk with pointed ears and eyes that don't quite see infinitely into stars. It's a strange little kind of social outing because Deanna Carpenter's kind of just talking about how she kicked the shit out of a guy once, and everybody's just absolutely amused.
Is Gwen like using a broom to try and flush Damon out of the rafters a little bit? You're like, no, I said,
of all
down
the places he might end up, he can fly, and he's got super recluse energy.
Yeah.
Do you want to bet he came down and was at a really great height at the time? What do you think? Is Damon competing with the halogen lights for the bird's eye view of the room?
No, he's still in the corner.
That's me in the corner.
That's
me in the
spotlight.
Losing my religion.
So, do his wings wrap around him like a deep dark cloak of sadness?
Yeah, if he wasn't.
No,
already
he
cloaked in
sucked. He
shadow.
sucked them into his back when he let Brooks go through.
No, he's just getting the whole like gloomy corner
He's
vibe.
He's just like, need to calm down. Need to calm down. Need to calm down.
And
Have you
somehow,
tried
like-
fish in a newspaper, friend?
I think
It's like
he'll likely
newspaper
pass.
fish.
You could be satisfied with any
news.
indulgence you can think of. There are
Catch
folks
the
who want to
news.
hear beat poetry right now.
No, he is not having a good time anymore.
Oh, he's coming down and he's like still seeing weird shit, even though it's
It just happens to be real now.
oh god, they're still here.
What's Washington up to?
Washington literally spent the last hour high-fiving fey creatures hard enough that
Whole
like their
hour?
hand would get smashed into their forehead and they'd go flying 4 or 5 feet. And that sort of evolved into him slamming whatever cup they hand him into his mouth, drenching himself and letting it bleed out of whatever orifice it's coming out of in his chest.
Is it all alcoholic?
I mean, that's what it smells like from a distance, but at this point they've just been handing him things and he's slamming that into his face. He's
Will it blend?
it's a will it blend, but with George Washington zombie.
I go up to every party member, and I let them know.
Collect the group.
Oh, well, I do it individually,
Hmm.
because probably closer to when everything is winding down, Oliver will.
Oh yeah,
inform
there's kind of a gentle, still noisy, but like calm-ish vibe going on. Like everybody's on their specific occupancies of their mind, but nobody is paying any much attention to anything outside of that. So
Perfect. I
perfect
will.
time to go through there.
Basically, I just kind of let them all know. Let the accord get signed. Trust me. And I say that to each of them.
Are
You
you
don't gotta convince
sure?
me.
And
You already-
I look to Diana and I go, yes. Trust
Do I sense anything in my overly paranoid state?
me.
Roll against narc.
I mean, even if I was lying, I'm gonna say yes. Of course, you're feeling paranoid as all hell.
But I mean,
but
like, if I'm
the
picking up on, like,
dankest
as I'm
phase
coming down,
shit
am
in
I
the
picking
world.
up on like
You're just like falling into your own head, and you don't know why, and you're just like,
but-
oh my god, nothing's gonna go right. Obviously,
But does he trust me?
yeah?
Yeah.
But do we roll on some trust here? Am I seeing? Is he lying or no? I know this works in D&D. I don't know how this works in this game.
if it needs to come down to overcoming yourself with a roll, we're gonna say it's perception based.
4.
A natural goddamn 4, people.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
The crits are spicy tonight. All right. Despite yourself, despite everything you've ever taught yourself about how other people act and how you know what they're going to do, Oliver tells you, trust me on this. And you think, oh my fucking God, that's what honesty sounds like. Nothing, no higher ultimatum, no threats of violence, no anything. Just trust me.
But do I get the feeling if he's lying or not?
Oh, no. He's telling you the absolute truth. He's got a plan. Let it happen. That's what he's getting across to.
Okay.
With-
I kind of stared at him for a second and like point to my pistol and kind of like raise my eyebrows like needed.
I give a
He gives you the most British shrug you've ever seen a man shaped like a bowling ball could do.
I will casually put my hand on my hips by my holster.
Oh, and I kind of picture Oliver in this kind of situation as kind of, the art style from the Yellow Submarine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that kind of caricature of him. Well, the Fey magic is kind of dissipating.
You can only see him straight on or in profile, and in all cases, he's the same round shape.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. As the I don't know why that hit just there, but that just did.
It's
It's
a thing.
My God, the Fae took a whole dimension from him.
Is that John Lennon fucking an imp over there? What's going on? Swear to God. Sorry, just get out of hand.
Mr. Books, I have spent the last hour getting to know the Queen of the Unseelie, specifically trying to tell her not to sign this document.
And
I mean, it's not
appreciate-
specific. It wasn't specifically. I'll be honest.
I also noticed that your top is missing, my dear.
Just being
But is it
strategic.
missing? Is it missing, or is it right where it needs to be?
There is.
It's right
there-
where it needs
There is
to
a
be.
satyr cackling, running around with her like army jacket over his head, wrapping his arms in the long sleeves, just running in circles.
Is it perhaps time to get to business then?
I think it might be.
Mr. Brooks, sir, you don't need to convince Larry at all. You offered to take him to England in a companionship sort of way. He is yours forever. Larry is not teary-eyed. Well, all right, Larry's teary-eyed. James is teary-eyed because he rubbed wasabi in his eyes.
Solid. He's method acting, folks. He's yeah.
So if her plan works and they don't sign the accord, that's good. But if they do sign the accord, that's also okay.
Yes.
All right then. Excuse me,
Deanna-
folks.
Yep.
Go, Larry.
Larry the Major Domo pipes up.
The British man said that the time has come to return to the table, and make your own choices and be about your business, and we will get the heck out of your way. And he leaves.
George Washington is here to kick ass and chew bubblegum.
And I'm all out of
And
gum.
I am drunk. And he just smashes a beer can against the side of his head.
Yes.
And it gets stuck in the side of his skin. Because the rim is like those old steel cans.
I love how George
Fucking
Washington is
scented.
now a robot zombie frat boy.
What else would he be?
What else would
America.
he be?
America.
You didn't make him Duke Nukem, so that's okay.
Yep.
Close.
It's close. But I presume like the Fey creatures just slowly kind of just start dissipating.
At that announcement, like smoke in a strong wind. Whoosh. You are left with Diana doing up her shirt and Damon like adjusting his pants, Gwen straight up putting her clothing back on.
All of it?
And one of her legs is wet and she's just shaking it off.
Gross.
Like a dog too.
Oliver-
It's just like vibrating out to the side of her and then she puts it down again.
Shimmy
Oliver
shake.
will approach on the way to the table. Will pat Damon and Larry on the backs with heal to get rid of any kind of fogginess from the dank.
That is a very straightforward use of runic magic. Okay. Very good. One heal for each. You're doing them in order, so pick a guy so we know which
I'll
one.
pick Larry first.
Can we say, while the Fae are dissipating and stuff, that one satyr who's running around with Deanna's jacket, like everyone dissipates and he's like the last one. He's got the like, ha ha, ha ha, ha. He's like running in circles. And Deanna
He's
just like,
absolutely the most corporeal because he's attached to something.
yeah. And Deanna just has a moment of like grabbing him by like the shoulder and he makes that like,
Grabs the shirt, whips it, and he just kind of whooshes out of existence.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so first heal versus a 10 for our man.
Yep. So I just roll runic.
Yep, just roll against your skill with that rune.
10 match.
Match, perfect. Yeah, no, you choose an effect and you immediately sense his still deep intoxication. You just wipe that off him. You're getting dirt off his shoulder kind of feeling. Just none of that.
Yeah, no, I just I go up to Larry and just go pat 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 pat.
Stiff up a lip, sir.
Stiff up a lip.
Larry, you are instantly sober and full of meat.
See, you say that, but he failed, Ken. Because I'm resistant to all of Oliver's magic.
Oh, that's right. We subtract Larry's magic resistance from specific magic that affects that person. And that was straight up.
I have magic
The heal
resistance
rune on a man.
4.
Yeah. Oh no, that's straight up. That's like double the penalty. It's ridiculous. You subtract it from his skill, effectively, and also add it to your roll to resist if it has one.
I wouldn't try and resist, but yeah.
Neat. No, and you can't like willingly push down the magic resistance. It's just an innate part of your
Yeah.
fundamentum.
I haven't
so
put that many
stiff
points
up a
into
lip,
it to be able to
and
do
then
that yet.
You carved the rune properly and just traced it out on his back, and it goes. And you did fail, effectively rolling a 10 on 6.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you've done it so many times before, did you want to spend a spare character point to make that a match success?
Yeah, I'll make it a match success.
Perfect. He shoves some more hoopla into that. Straight up just,
Some chutzpah.
yeah. He's like, why is this taking 6 liters? Jesus.
No. It's kind of like,
Your tea reserve is just boiling down.
and I just take my other hand and go bap into his chest, just like.
Very good, sir.
Like a
Thank you.
rugby salute after a good down. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Quite.
Okay, at that point, Larry's
like British
entirely
now.
sober and absolutely full of meat.
Indeed.
Yeah, there was a lot of ephemeral food, but at a certain point, they did just start grabbing like mortal delicacies from across the ether and bring them to you.
Yeah.
I
They
say.
did watch you drink a fish out of a shoe.
And I did get an 8 for Damon.
Yes. All right, Damon, you did succumb to uber paranoid dankness. Suddenly, the cloud is gone, and you're only left with emo dankness. Your paranoia goes nowhere. However, your eyes aren't itchy, and you're not hungry anymore. You just really need a glass of water.
I realized something. The inside of that fish that was wrapped in tomorrow's newspaper was yesterday's newspaper.
And full of chocolate sauce. You're gonna have the worst indigestion. you're at that point where everything's copacetic, but you know tomorrow's gonna suck.
Yeah.
If Larry has hair, Deanna is holding it back.
He does. It's average length and brown.
It's just that mop haircut that just
Yeah.
doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, it's just like enough to be covered by a hat and be unremarkable.
Yeah, but not like
Yep.
anything to write home about.
Mhm.
I digress. Your friends are healed, and the Fae kings and queens and the domos who didn't approve of any of this gather. The chairman of the committee climbs out from behind some rubble from kind of a semi-collapsed wall in the corner.
Yeah.
Hurriedly doing up his pants and like stuffing his
Sir.
shirt back into his pants and like flicking his toupee hair back into place. He's like spinning it to like staple it down. He's
Sorry,
trying to find it spun on him and he's trying to find center again.
I'm going to regret this. That was the greatest party ever.
And a little goblin
I
jumps
do
out from the other
believe-
side.
I do
little
believe this was
goblin.
a good time had by all.
My fellow Americans, this was
here to
the best
tell you-
party
Bar none.
we have seen in the
I can tell
last
if that's
decade.
Clinton or Obama. I think
Both.
they're both great.
Obama.
No, no, see,
fellow
Obama does
Americans.
this. He does this.
Yeah.
He's always like pinching
America.
somebody's nose in his hand.
I'm holding a pen.
Oh, that's Bob Dole. Bob Dole has a pen.
No, he
My
has
fellow
golf club.
Americans,
Oh, oh.
I've got your nose.
If you want it back.
Yeah, he's just a middle American sleazy Democratic bureaucrat. He's just a schlub. But he scuttles back over to the room and like starts ushering Mecca Washington back into like position, who's just discombobulated as all hell. At one point, the chairman reaches up under the back of his jacket and adjusts something, and Washington just kick goose step marches right back to the table and plants his feet.
Ken,
Well, his
I would
arm-
like to.
Top are poppling everywhere.
While everyone is getting set and ready, I
Mhm,
would like
mhm.
to take one of my cigarettes, and I'm sure there is gas somewhere in this hangar, and just dip one of my cigarettes in the gasoline and then pocket it, separate from everything else.
Wouldn't that evaporate really quick?
It could soak.
Speaking as a country boy from the middle of southern Alberta,
Things soaked in gasoline don't generally
within the next
evaporate
10
right
minutes,
away.
it's going to be a bad time for anybody
Yeah.
dealing with it. So, no, she's got a solid plan here. If you had soaked it with a little bit of rubbing alcohol and toilet paper, maybe it'll last a little longer. But the general premise is there. I'm picking up what she's putting down.
Yeah.
You're trying to hide this from the general milieu of people.
Just, I'm not trying to hide it per se, but I'm hoping that everyone else is returning to the table in such a fashion and getting ready to do business that
their
they're
attention is
distracted.
somewhere else entirely. Hopefully,
Yeah.
just playing off the distraction. Okay, yeah, no, I'll let you know that there's definitely an opportune moment. You're definitely choosing your second. Let me see though. Yeah, this would be raw dexterity of you just picking the exact time to act and do it and get it done. And really, it's a simple action. Roll at I'll call it a 9 effective level here, based on defaults and situational bonuses. But I am rolling at essentially people aren't really paying attention much.
Okay. I got 9.
Match is nothing to snub at.
What's happening?
I don't know.
You pick your moment. You pick a cigarette. Nothing happens. You're in the clear.
Chowder.
Chowder! Shut up, Washington. Yeah, Washington is not in a good way. He's beaten up. Like, he was just smashing random things into his face for like 30 minutes straight. So the skin that is attached to his muscles and sinews just in front of his skull, it's just... He looks like 6 miles of bad road. And I don't mean that in like a day drinking kind of way. I mean like asphalt and tarmac are comparable. He does still have eyes. He does still have most of his teeth. He is chewing some of those teeth, and you can hear them cracking them like walnuts.
So he didn't come here to
It was
party.
absurd before, and it's surreal now. And the chairman takes a look at Washington, takes a sober look at the group, and just swallows his resolve and decides he can't do anything about it, so he's just going to soldier on. And he kind of just shoves Washington towards the group.
Yeah. So, Oliver puts
Parties
the
are assembled.
briefcase. Yep. Oliver will put the briefcase on the table, acting his true name, opens the case, and pulls the papers out.
The runes flare. The case is opened. and the signatories share a look together. They look at the paperwork. They each level their gaze on Oliver Brooks. The majordomo raises a finger, and the king presses his hand down. Majordomo steps back respectfully out of the way of his king and shuts the fuck up. The High King speaks first. We have come to hear the case of this new court and accept or deny, sign an accord that would recognize your existence. The other king speaks up. Yes, we would hear your case as presenters of this new court of Fae. We would ask you to present your evidence that you would become one of us. Can you demonstrate? And at that point, the Right Honorable Chairman from somewhere in the Midwest of bumfuck nowhere steps up, adjusts his shirt as best as he can, and tries to straighten out a tie that keeps curling upwards at the bottom, despite everything he's doing. And he mops the sweat out of his face.
Chairman Dilbert here.
Yeah, yeah, we're so there's I don't know where the fuck it went, but we do have evidence that we would like to present to you that proves we have a true Fae living in America that should become the American Court of the Fae, and all rights and privileges for themselves. I don't remember where we parked it. I'm missing some time. Does that jive with anyone else?
Slack jaw. Just fucking slack jaw. And just goes, leave it to the Americans to fuck this up.
I resemble that remark, sir.
So, at your pleasure, if you could allow us the time to find it. I think we have it in the basement. I don't rightly. There's George. He desperately leans on George Washington Zombie for help.
Oh, great.
George Washington Zombie straightens his back, levels his shoulders, and cold cocks the representative from the committee. Just sends teeth 6 feet in an arc with a trail of blood coming from this ruined jaw. Kick ass and chew bubble gum.
Good one. Good one, George. And I'm gonna hand him a cigarette.
Yeah.
And I will slowly move my hand up and light the cigarette. Well, I like in the midst of doing this, I make eyes with the Queen Mab, and I'm like, see, I told you they weren't ready. I told you this was bullshit.
To say that George Washington, the leather petrified zombie,
who's covered in alcohol,
flame, is not any justice to the descriptive lettering of those words. Like, I can't tell if it's parody or like exactly what you're envisioning, but the cigarette immolates instantly. Whatever petrochemical that was used to preserve his skin deeply ignites and into the bone instantly, up into the skull. Something green alights behind all of that in his brain cavity and just bursts, and his hat shoots straight up and off of himself with a shower of electric green sparks. And then the machinery on his back, it races down whatever fume hood of a jacket he's wearing, and that bursts into flame. And he just starts backing away, saying, "Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!" as his head is melting, just immediately erupting and disintegrating in this horrible caricature.
It's like Mars attacks.
Yeah, over the next few seconds, he just instantly comes apart as if he was specifically designed to do so. Like, you couldn't have choreographed this better.
I standing at the end of the table where the Americans were, light my own cigarette and go, yeah, ooh, ow, that doesn't look good.
I love it.
So the chairman is on the ground. He face planted. As soon as he got cold cocked, he just somebody hit the ding dong bell in his neck, and he face firsted into the hangar deck floor, which is just polished concrete. And there was a slap as his skull hit it. It didn't bounce.
Ugh.
Yeah. The dignitaries, to their credit, do not take a step back. They're not taken aback by any of this, but they look upon what has been wrought by mortal hands. They share a look, and they look upon you and say, "Oh, that was not what we were expecting of today."
And Oliver just goes, "I wasn't expecting this either."
I see. Well, to your credit, it was implored, and we will allow time. Time enough till the end of the bicentennial anniversary to get your house in order. Midnight of that night, we will not sign. But you have until then to convince us. And they nod to each other, and the Fae vanish. And it's you five, the unconscious chairman, and a kind of like winding down zombie George Washington burning into cinders on the floor.
What happened to that?
Gwen is just losing her shit in the corner, just tickled.
What happened to that Ratborn fella?
Oh, Rathborn.
Rathborn, the commander dude.
Rathborn is the commander of the honor guard, and he is outside.
He was shooting at Dave. Understood.
He was the guy shooting at Dave earlier.
All right.
Yeah. Oliver just looks at this and goes, "I wasn't expecting any of this. Nor was I expecting their Fae to be missing."
To be fair, sir, that if you were going to expect anything, you could have probably expected the U.S. government to fuck it up.
Government work, penny short and a foot under every time.
Well, if there is a Fae loose, we should at least capture it. Especially a Fae that the Americans apparently have created.
What was that, Ken?
Damon. Kick him when he's down. It's funny.
Pick who?
Kick George Washington.
Help the congressman. Let's throw him. We'll see.
Is that
Oliver turns his back and goes, "Where the hell's a Fae?"
Is this actually like a demanding request from my?
She thinks it'd be funny. She isn't saying,
Funny.
do this or I'll take away your powers. She's saying, it would be awesome. And now is exactly the right time.
I will walk over towards it. I'm not going to cut his throat because there wasn't any direct instruction like that, but I will walk forward and I will trip, and as I do, I will jab my skinny boy pointy knees right into the crotch.
I love it.
And is he knocked out cold?
So far, he hasn't moved since getting punched.
Can I take out his presidentures?
His teeth?
Sorry, are you nutsacking the former President George Washington or the chairman who got his teeth knocked out by the George Washington?
Oh, whoever's on the ground right now.
Well, one's on the ground and burning, and one's on the ground with his teeth knocked out. So
And unconscious.
one's a mortal
sorry, I
man
thought
and
you
one's
wanted
an
me to do this-
abomination of a zombie. So
Do you want me to
she's
kill the
suggesting
zombie?
you hurt the human man.
The zombie. Or sorry, the human man who's on fire?
No, zombie's on fire.
Zombie George Washington is
human
on
man.
fire. Human man is unconscious and easy targets.
Is he an enemy though? Like, come on now.
I mean, he's a
Yeah.
dickhead.
He's a jackass.
I will
He's a
then I will
congressman.
fall on him and that's a good point. Pull out my dagger. No, I will fall with as much force that it would pop a nut and land down on the crotch. And then as I get up, if George Washington is I'm gonna see if he has his wooden teeth in his mouth.
I'm going to ask you to start with a roll against 13.
To kick a man while he's down.
11.
Very good. So you do definitely go knee first into one of the balls and feel it yield to you. Also,
Yikes.
to make that seem plausible, I'm going to ask you to roll against acting or some sort of. I don't think we could say this as a sleight of hand, but we might say. Also, forced entry. Oh god, I'm not using that.
Oh boy.
Sleight of nut.
Oh boy. Sleight of nut.
I'll say,
don't know
I'll
what
say
you'd
all
call
things
this,
considered,
but-
we'll call this some kind of lie at about a 10 between defaults and.
5.
You know what? When you need to pull out the fucking clinching roll, you're gonna do that. So,
Oh no.
by pure accident, Damon looks like he's trying to go render assistance in some
Yeah.
weird moment of humility, and then just knee firsts the man in the dick, and y'all hear a horrible noise from the body. And he
Deanna
goes,
smiles.
"Oh, no."
And then if the Washington guy is down, I want to check if he's got his wooden teeth in.
I don't think he's gonna have them between the gas cigarette and the alcohol.
Yeah, no, the specific part of his body that is already burned to nothingness is definitely his face.
His face, sure.
Like you can see where his neck
Inside of a
is and the
skeleton.
back of his skull should be. There's machinery and wiring back in there that all sparks green as it's burning and smoking.
Sure,
It looks like
but are there
something out of
wooden
a
teeth in
fucking like it looks like something out of Videodrome. It's horrifying.
It's actually
no
Are there wooden teeth?
so
There are
interesting
no wooden
tidbit.
teeth.
Washington never had wooden teeth.
No, that was Lincoln had dentures and they were made usually from cadaver teeth, but
Washington's were sheep teeth.
that is worse.
Where'd the wooden teeth thing come from? Then?
It was just a common misconception because they were so horrendously stained. Like
His
he
hat
had,
is just over there. It survived if you want to steal his hat instead.
he only had one tooth left, which he used to hold onto his
pop
dentures
cans?
of brass,
Jesus
ivory, and gold.
Christ. Oh.
Okay, I will
Me-
fall on this dude's nut. I will pop the nut.
Mhm.
I will get up. I will pick
Nut
up
is
the hat. I will walk over and I will put the hat on Gwen.
Hell yeah.
Gwen is tickled by this event.
I'm gonna slit the guy's throat, but I will pop a nut.
Gwen is absolutely amused by this turn of events because she realizes how cruel it is that this man is going to wake up with a bloated, distended gonad that is broken.
I didn't want to do it, but I'm friggin' vowed into this thing.
She's happy. She's tickled pink. You did good. She's happy. You want some dark
Deanna.
powers? Should give you some dark powers, honey.
Oh. I'm gonna step outside to the honor guard, and I am about to tear that commander up and down for letting Washington and the delegation get absolutely destroyed.
By the Unseelie court or by the Seelie court?
Oh, no. They just were destroyed. It was unseen assailants. How dare they?
Deanna pops open the hatch to the landing deck, and the Honor Guard and Wrathborn are nowhere to be seen.
She shrugs and goes back inside.
I mean, par for the course for this fucking spooky ass building, but yeah, no, they're just not there.
Look, not my problem anymore.
Somebody
Not my
else.
circus, not my monkeys.
Exactly.
Oliver will turn to the group after watching the chaos that has just unfolded everywhere, and goes, "Not the events I was hoping for today. Obviously, there are powers outside of our control here. We've been given some time to find out about this American Fae. I suggest we pop to it."
You got 72 hours.
We could go back to my hometown and look for an American Feywolf in London.
Boo.
Bit of a stretch. I know what you were going for.
Little
Oh, so bad he turned off his camera. Okay,
Sir,
there he is.
maybe it's just the lethargy from coming down off of the hippie grass. But
I'm full of fish now.
I'm really full and kind of sleepy, and it's been a really long day. I know.
To the beds.
Do we all have individual beds, or is it like one room?
I think the barracks are probably vacant enough that that's not going to be a problem.
I think they're also covered in blood, need I remind you.
Like, you've only seen the one specific level of it that was absolutely annihilated. Perhaps the lower designations are still serviceable, but you couldn't get the elevator past the Granite Man earlier, so it might be time to try.
I just don't want to sleep in the meat room.
Like, of all choices. Good call.
Please don't make me sleep in the meat room.
We go to try and find proper bedding.
Gwen prances along with her hat, ushering her boyfriend forward. Not quite slapping him on the ass with a riding crop, but that energy is there. You did good, and I am happy, and I saw all sorts of horror. Yay.
Sounds
So-
about right.
You gather towards the elevator. You get yourselves heading down to the lower levels. Lower barracks. Fingers crossed. Eldritch horror doesn't bleed out of the walls down here, but you make your way.
Yep.
Making our way. So,
I gotta wake up down. Walking.
the elevator responds as it should and does take you down. As you pass by that ruined level of the barracks, there's a kind of a shudder and a screech, but the elevator pushes through. It's got enough inertia. Whatever was stopping it gets scraped off the wall. Cool. And you stop at like subfloor 1 and 2 and check in. The first one, you slide back the door, and it's like the comparison is a sterile, hosable area with furnishings that are built into the walls that can be swung up as a multi-purpose space, because you see basketball hoops on the far walls, as well as that kind of cargo seating that swings up and folds into the wall, drains in the floors, a wall that's marked canteen, and there's the faintest smell of like donut fryer and ancient hood vent in the air. And
I will enter.
Oliver realizes he's in a good place because there's a deep fat fryer that could probably flash fry an entire cow somewhere in the back of that commissary.
Wonderful.
Hopefully there's still bread, but it might be canned. Who knows?
I guess we're figuring
Cool.
out if this sword can make a
And
sandwich.
And bread.
Doing some cursory investigation, just kind of walking through, turning on the lights and seeing. There are sub barracks for the officers, nicer digs that actually have like beds made out of framed wood. They're ancient cushions, but they're all still there, just rolled up and tucked away. in storage for the last 20, 25 years. So you each have like your own personal space, a desk, a lamp, that kind of thing. The commissary has cans upon cans upon cans of ration food. Larry is in heaven, I'm sure. But like tinned beef, tinned bread, tinned vegetables, tinned anything, really. It's all in tins. And none of it requires a can opener. They all have pull tabs.
Larry, is there dry good as well? Flour, salt?
Yeah.
Usual?
Oil drums of rice.
Yeah.
And corn and barley and literally a booklet on the wall that says how to make hooch.
Larry does the 2 a.m. Not quite down from the munchies thing yet. Where he's like,
Makes a sobering
he
meal.
I am going to bake loaves of bread right now, and
How?
they'll be
You can prove
delicious
the
because
bread.
it's the thing that I need right now. And I'm going to take cans of beans and cans of like pulled meat. Beef? It's probably beef. And I'm going to like stew them in a pot together with a can
Larry
of tomatoes.
finds actual jars of sourdough starter with genealogies taped to the front of them.
Cool.
They've been in the dark for 25 years and they are still good to go.
I like it.
Yay,
he's like,
sourdough.
Yeah.
And-
Active yeast.
He gets halfway through the cooking process and realizes that he's like, I didn't want to do this. Why am I doing? I just want
Why
to
am
go
I
to
making
sleep.
bread? Ugh.
I
So
just want to go to
tired.
sleep. But he looks over at Mr. Oliver and he's like, called me a friend.
He called me a friend.
And he continues
an
making
hour of
all the needs
scrounging
for sloppy
bits-
joes.
Yeah. Bread, tinned meat, red sauce. It's not labeled tomato. It's not labeled ketchup. It's red sauce.
Yep.
And you open it up and it doesn't smell like peppers. So you're golden.
It's
just
they are
round
basic.
flesh wall.
It is sloppy joes.
It is sloppy, whatever it is. Give me a blanket roll against 11.
Yeah, absolutely. Should I
No,
roll
you're
against
not
my?
trained in this.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're in a well-stocked kitchen with the munchies. You're rolling against an 11.
You're
gonna get
rolling for
serviceable food
sandwich.
in one way or the other.
I'm rolling for sandwich.
Oh yeah.
Roll for Sandy.
That's a 12. It's not very good.
The bread
very
crumbles
sloppy.
a lot. It didn't bind because he didn't proof it for very long. But you have dry things you can scoop up the wet things with, and it tastes within a standard deviation of what you like.
Yeah,
Also-
instead of bread, they're biscuits, crumbly biscuits.
It's that's that it's good still bread, but it's not got the texture right. So,
Yeah.
it's
Like
still
an English muff.
delicious. It's sweet white bread, man. Just shove it in your mouth.
Nom, nom, nom. Anybody else think that today was terrifying?
No.
Hey.
Oh,
Yes.
you-
Absolutely. This whole everything's been terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Gwen
not the
is
exact
poking the
standard.
sloppy joe with a fork, and she's just like, I saw a lot of dead things today. That was cool.
I saw a room made out of meat,
Didn't kill any
And-
of you yet, though.
and he looks down at his sloppy joes after saying that, and he's like,
You ate an entire tin of kippers.
I
was a
drank
bad
a
call.
fish out of a cup. It still had a
that's our
Gwen holds her
episode.
composure better than the GM and just says, yeah.
It still had a face.
Oh. Ew.
It had a name.
What was his name?
Douglas.
Fish.
Douglas. Okay.
It said so.
Oh,
Oh, you were high.
Yeah, that didn't happen. You can just delete that part. It's cool. That's the Techno Kitty.
Okay.
Fast the Agent of Chaos.
Yes.
So you wind down, you find a safe space, and everybody decompresses. You lower a rack of seating off the wall. You have a hot tin of food in front of each of you. And the plate acts like a bowl because it's got a deep enough lip that the sloppy joe doesn't get anywhere, and you just go at it with spoons. It's cool. And on top of today, I'd say you're all alive. And that's good, right? Yeah. I'm trying to think of positive upswings, but you arrived, had your memories altered by a creature from beyond space and time that was designed to fuck with you. Loved your first interactions with every Fae you met because it was intended that would happen. As well, you had your direct interaction with the guardian spirit of this mountain itself flubbed with as well by something that was trying to teach you a lesson that this was a bad course. And then when you got to the course, it went badly because they got fucked with because they are mortals acting beyond their ken. They cold cocked each other, and then you kicked them in the nuts. Hard.
And
left him there. That man might not be breathing if nobody checked his airway. Like, you get halfway through the meal and you realize, did anybody turn him over? Check his airway for... Does he land on his nose?
You know,
broken mouth?
I'll go check.
Not my testicles, not my monkey.
I love that, and I hate it.
Also, not to mention that Oliver may have met one of the ancient primordial evils or neutral forces that the universe has ever seen or known.
Preternatural beings.
Yeah, and only one of those preternatural beings had Larry's name on his list this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Deanna heads upstairs,
screams.
checks the hangar floor. Washington's smoldering into a heap, and he has rolled over, but he is so incoherent. He's kind of just bleeding and kicking in a circle, trying to get up.
For sure.
But he is concussed, and his jaw is shattered, and he's not in a great place.
You know what? He needs some fresh air. We're gonna take him out to the helipad. Get him some fresh
Diana
air.
Ross carry him out front.
No, I'll help him up to his feet. He has some sort of dignity, I think.
Staggering distance, get him by the back of the collar. Yeah.
Yeah.
And really, the other hand is on like the back of his belt to keep him upright.
Yeah.
So you lever him forward. You get a couple of steps, and in the silence of the hangar, you hear a static hiss and the click of a radio on his hip, tucked into his pants, that clicks on and says, "Moving on target, Wrathborn." Wrathborn here. You're free to move forward. Tangos. Take him out. And then the beginning of gunfire cut off by a radio disconnecting.
Deanna is going to keep this gentleman on her, maybe held in front a little bit like a flesh shield, and is going to quickly kind of army slam into the wall beside the door to the hangar and then pop it open and do a quick breach clear.
So you are totally prepared and yet also absolutely safe. You're not hearing the report of gunfire anywhere up here. Outside in the open space, you're not hearing echoes or anything drowned out by the wind of the mountain. By the way, the night is spectacular up here. The sky has cleared off. The storm rolls in the valley below you, and you're actually seeing lightning underlight the sky above. And I swear it was not a full moon yesterday, but there is a gibbous eye of white just staring down from the sky above you. But yeah, you clear the room, you breach the entrance, you don't see this squad. You've got radio contact with them.
Yeah.
Doing some quick math. This is a big concrete facility. They can't be far, but you can't also hear their guns. So there are at least probably 3 of these thick doors between you and wherever they are.
I'm going to pick up the radio out of his pocket. I'm going to just drop the man.
Oh, yeah. Just
off the side of the mountain?
No, he slumps onto like the deck out in.
Yeah, he's just on the deck.
It's alpine air at night. So it's like the desert minus wind chill. He's probably going to succumb to the elements out here. Or it might shock him enough to wake him up. Who knows? Like, whatever.
We'll
It's a
see.
choice.
We'll see. If he's
And
strong, he'll survive. But yeah,
I'll
you
click
mug
the-
him of his radio.
yeah.
Yanking it out of his pants. It's like strapped to his upper hip and thigh, but it's this box radio D-cell powered motherfuckers
Yeah.
with like an extendable antenna that goes up 3 feet if you want.
Yeah.
And it is plugged in to some kind of big green crystal
Mm.
that is strapped to the side of it and wired with this big coily wire into the headset somehow. But
Yeah.
otherwise, it's operating like a standard military radio, and that's plugged into the decoder, so God only knows what that does.
Okay.
But
I'm
yeah,
going
no.
I'm gonna click it on. I'm gonna go repeat unit repeat description of target needed.
Fucking sweet.
Because she's
One
got all the
second.
military training for years and years and years.
Okay. First, a roll versus savoir-faire military at your... This is just standard jargon lingo. They weren't using anything out of the box, so call it a 12 for effective skill.
12?
Well,
Beat by 1, not bad. And on top of that, you're fast-talking them.
Yep.
Which you don't have the skill trained. It's IQ based, but you did succeed on knowing the jargon. I'd say really you could substitute soldier at this point, so go ahead and roll that.
Okay.
When in doubt, it's a soldier thing you're trained on, and it'll fold right into this.
Ooh. Nope. Actually, I'm gonna spend my point.
If you don't got luck, you might as well buy it. Oh, I love this.
I'm gonna make it a match success.
So initially, you kind of
I
just
need to
flub
know.
through, and your voice, for some reason, comes off like soft. Like you never talk like that. You just, yeah, and then you just cough your way through it and get back to your regular voice. And you're like, ah.
Yeah, it's I think for a moment of Queen Mab, and then I return.
Oh, I was just lost in a thought. The damn Fae got me all up in my grills. So you ask them to read Claire on target. Check your orders. Can't believe you lost them. Target is recluse. Target is on site. White, Caucasian, 6 foot, German descent, lives on site, basement level.
Does that sound like anyone familiar?
First thought, Werner von Braun.
Deanna is gonna pretend like she cares who that is.
But she makes a mental note of just a tall, thin, Caucasian German descent guy.
Tall,
Okay.
thin German.
And when they say that, they're describing like dark hair, straight features, and then like a certain mental image comes to mind from your soldier training. But
Yeah. And I'm gonna click the radio again. I'm gonna go. Halls are shifting. Repeat. Halls are shifting. Need location.
shit, check your 6. The meat walls are coming alive again. God damn it. Can't lose another squad.
They're in the basement.
For clarity, Werner von Braun is the father of rocket science. And
Yeah,
one
he's
of the
that guy that
original
Thank you.
so
founders
excited
of
he
NASA.
convinced Disney to talk to the national campaign and like straight up got concept art done to get people into space. He loved rockets.
Yeah.
To
Thank
a
you.
fault.
I'm
But
not a space person.
But the GM was specifically mentioning you are standing in the doorway of the hangar deck, and behind you, in a 50-foot mural painted on the wall, is the Von Braun Space Academy with an emblem of a rocket
It's
orbiting Mars.
yeah. It's one of those moments in like media and TV where a character's like, "What is that thing?" and it's in the background of the shot.
Yes, absolutely. Diana's.
She squints, you know.
It's a capstone moment. She's just like, what the? I'm reminded of a scene in a DC comic where Lex Luthor gets physically transposed with the Flash's body and goes, finally, I'll know the secret identity of the
Yeah.
Flash. And he takes off his mask and he's like,
Like,
I
who
have
is this
no
guy?
idea who this is.
No idea who Barry Allen is.
I don't know who this
Deanna's Barry Allen mom.
is.
Yeah. Deanna's gonna radio once more and go, Unit 6 wiped, Unit 6 wiped, retreating. Pull out. And then just start screaming. Or actually, is the guy on the ground, is he conscious at all?
He's making
Groggily
gurgling
so?
noises like he's half collapsed his airways and they're filling with
Oh, for
blood.
sure. I'm gonna hold the radio up to him and I'm gonna kick him in the gut.
Oh, he makes an unhuman noise. Like it's a step above kicking a dog, and he makes that horrible noise.
And then I'm gonna break the radio.
I'm not even gonna have you roll for it. It's a 1970s plastic radio. You just snap it in your hands. All right, you've done your reconnaissance. You've put him there.
Gonna like clap the plastic off my hands.
I'm gonna roll health for the chairman
Yeah, it's not gonna matter.
because you have a 2d6 kick.
Yeah,
Heavily injured.
I did
Major
not
wound.
hold back.
It was a 16. He does not have an average health of 10.
Ooh.
It's worse than that. He gurgles and slumps and just kind of oozes on the deck. Yeah, no, you've definitely killed him. So,
Deanna's gonna light her cigarette.
the
put her
sword
shades
immediately
on.
says he was probably a communist.
Damn right. And she's gonna toss him off the helipad.
Perfect
Jesus.
crime. Yeah, you walk him 30 yards that way and just yeet him off a mountain.
Yep. I return inside.
Yeah, he disappears into the tree line. Okay.
At haste, I have news to share.
So y'all are like enjoying a plate of sloppy joes, and Gwen is talking in detail about this one time she turned a dude's head inside out and he survived. Indiana barges in.
Oh, hey Gwen, you telling that story about how when you turned a guy's head inside out?
Yeah, where the tongue gets all flappy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Larry looks at his meat on the plate and it's like, huh.
She knows what she was doing.
So, news. Picked up a radio off the counselor upstairs. They're in the basement. They're looking for Von Braun. She does not give a shit about who this man was.
Oh, like the
The
whatchamahoozer?
suit.
The committee chair. That
Yeah, the suit.
Warner something.
Doesn't matter.
His name was John. Probably
Oh.
John.
Did he have a wife and kids?
Probably.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to
him.
send a sorry note.
I mean, they were probably not happy if he did.
Oliver
I'm gonna
Brooks
send her
has
your
his
welcome note.
dossier. Like,
Okay.
They're in the basement. They're looking for Von Braun down in the flesh tunnels. The honor guard.
Oh, aren't we supposed to not go down there, sir?
Yep, we are not, and I don't know how they got the key.
Maybe
For
they
what
don't
it's
have a
worth.
key.
That's the only way down there. As far as I'm aware.
So
We didn't see these fellers take the elevator down from the big hangar we were in, yeah?
they did not.
They have another way in somehow then. This is not good.
I will remind the man with photographic memory that there are stairwells.
Yes, I know there's stairwells, but they would have still had to have gone in, wouldn't they have?
through a party, but that is crowded with Fae.
When you were upstairs and we were all posed?
You were slightly
Right.
distracted for at least an hour at a Bacchanal festival. I will say they had
Yeah.
plenty of distracted, unobservant folks not looking at them while they secreted their way down further into the facility.
Mr.
Particularly,
Brooks, sir?
you guys forgot they existed after you closed that door behind you.
Yes.
After they stopped shooting at your Indian friend.
that we're our standing orders, as I understand, sir, are to facilitate the signing of that paperwork.
Yes.
It is not to allow supernatural, ungodly secrets to be known by people who aren't aware of them.
Yes, they are.
And they've broken into our facility?
Yes, they have.
Fuck.
All that
Yep.
aside, I declared this is my domicile.
Sorry,
Watch out, she's
did
gonna
you
mark
say
territory?
this
Says,
is my
Gwen is
house?
just warning the group.
I did.
You come into my house?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, last episode I did intentionally and quite pointedly state that this facility is my house.
So,
She stabbed the sword into a granite or concrete floor and declared it. I do remember that part.
I have a question for you, GM.
Yep. Shoot.
With Larry's points put into savoir-faire, Fey, was kind of what I was going for.
Good call. Yeah.
Does that, so the right of hospitality that comes along with that, of like, we are hosts for these three like groups coming together, and a party guest is being disrespectful of our hospitality, and there are other guests present. Is it untoward to reach out to these other guests and apologize and say that we're taking care of it? Because out above table, fucking up the Americans' day sounds like a great idea of not getting these papers signed.
Yeah, no skill roll required here. The affairs of mortals are below the purview of the Fae.
Mhm.
But in the fact that you are the hosts of an accord, it is well within your purview to declare these mortals' lives forfeit and do with them as you will,
Mhm.
or otherwise declare them forfeits in any other way. It's mortal on mortal action. They could give half a shit.
Even though it's versus, you know, the business in attendance.
By default, you're in the right in their eyes. Like
Okay.
you've got stand your ground law in
Yeah.
general.
I think we're going to be on this.
Hey,
on the
stand your
safe-
ground law. Like,
And if there's
straight up,
no-
they don't mind if you like turn them into polymorphed ducks or whatever. They're just like, yeah, fuck it, go to town.
Yeah. I think we're in the clear here because it's your house, and I don't think anybody's going to argue with you, ma'am.
Oh yeah, in that perspective, they talked with you last session, very specifically recognizing her invitation and dalliance there. Yeah, very specifically, they're respecting these rights and accords.
Yep.
And Dave accepted my invitation in. Oh
And
no.
excused himself.
Yeah, but
So
does
he's
that mean that I had a
way.
right to do so?
You could have punched him out, but then again, he had the mountain behind him, so God only knows what happened there. But
I
Larry's
may live in this
perplexed.
house, but Dave is the landlord.
yeah, Dave's like the guy who owns the house.
You parked the trailer on his land.
Yeah, and he's like
So-
being real cool about it and hasn't asked for rent yet. But he's kind
So-
of warned you that you parked on his land.
So I think it's no time for rest then. A little bit of respite was nice.
Up and at him.
Up and at them.
Oliver stands from his chair and goes, "Well, allons-y." And he
Allons-y.
snaps his cane and starts walking down the hallway.
All right. Larry straps on his helmet.
Is
Hi.
Damon. Gwen's just like, awesome. Carnage. Those guys had rifles. I can't wait. Last time you got shot, it was a really low caliber. And like, I've seen what high velocity bullets can do to flesh. I just want to see it.
I thought we were going to bed.
Well, later, but come on. My
Drags
belly's
himself
full
up.
and I already danced, and now I want to kill something. This sounds like every time I've come back from the club, actually. Dear God.
Yeah. Deanna will wait. I will wait for everyone to get in the elevator. I will slide the door shut. Press the button. Is it not a slide door, like gate elevator? Yeah. Press the button to go down. And Deanna will get onto her knees in a very prayer position. and offer
fuck.
one prayer to the sword and to its masters. And she puts that rosary away. And she takes out a stone of some sort that has been inscribed with that same symbol of the Unseelie that she has picked up at this party, and offers a small grant me a boon, O Queen of the People.
And as you descend to the lowest levels of the elevator, as that darkness encroaches just beyond the elevator door, and she invokes this high queen of a fey court, wind and darkness, you smell something in the air, a bit like lavender, a bit like perfume, and it's a heady musk. And darkness swallows our party. Until next time,
Dun, dun, dun.
on GURPS B.P.R.D.
I like it. So we got to kill 2 Americans.
Just wrecked them. Dude, one dude got Twinkie House, and then you blew up the other one. Like, come on.
Uh,
That sounds about right.
Americans
Just-
live by the oil, die by the oil.
He's straight up malfunctioned. I was secret rolling on the back end of like, no, yeah, no, he's not a well-built robot zombie. He's going to Twinkie House. Just
Yeah.
I love random failure table NPCs. They spice up the afternoon.
So we're going to the meat.
Yeah, go
We're
back down to the meat.
We're hunting down American soldiers with guns.
Rifles in the dark. Dang
And
dark.
Larry's put all of his points into magic resistance. Oh my.
Don't worry
You
about
could
it.
have bought bullet resistance, but you made the choice you made.
You know, I have 4 points.
It's going to be a very specifically GURPS limited
Yep.
conditional advantage, I'm
Uh,
sure. But
It's unkillable. Major limitation must be only against Americans.
why would you choose 150-point advantage to try and modify?
Why not?
Question.
Let's see if we can
Baby
get it down
steps.
to 4, baby.
Baby
It's
step.
unkillable. Sidestep can only be killed by man not born of woman. Just straight Macbeth.
I'd allow it, but it's going to be higher than 4 points. It's going to be
Yeah.
higher than 4 points. Riley, you had your hand up.
So was it 1 point or 2 points to change those rolls?
Oh, 1 to take a failure to a match success, and 2 to take a success to a crit.
Okay, so I spent.
You
4
bought one.
points.
You bought 1 success, 2 successes.
I
Two
think it was
successes
2 successes and a crit.
and a crit.
We have
So
video
4
evidence if you need to.
We'll track back. I think you're down about 4 points. So
Okay, so I have 8 points in total then. Got it.
yep, and the regular 4 points at the end of a long 4-hour sweating in my office session here, folks. They've
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
earned their keep in GURPS tonight. Oh my god! At a
Oh, it's
minimum,
hot.
they've done entertaining, amusing, unique, and remarkable things, regardless of the final outcome. And bodies disposed of off cliff sides.
Oops.
I love it.
Trees were
I'm here
hungry.
for
Had to
this.
feed them.
Look, the gun and scene one was me asking if they're important enough.
Yeah. Some people might think you're gonna get a talking to, and you might get written up. You'll be fine.
I'll be fine.
I love it. Well, with that, thank you everybody for stopping by. You can catch us. We're taking next week off because long weekends and all that jazz.
1 week break.
Indeed, it gives Ken a chance to pivot and modify. We'll be back on June 26th for our final episode of GURPS 4th edition. And you can catch us on the 23rd to the 25th at GameCon Canada. We'll be running the Make-A-Wish Foundation or Make-A-Wish International booth right across from the vendors for the organization. Some of our sponsors are kicking around there too. G6 Board Game Cafes kicking around there. Exhale Bruco is going to be
yeah.
around doing some of the catering. If you're subscribed to the channel already, thank you. If you jump in our Discord and you're looking for tickets to GameCon, we still have a couple of passes to give away to our subscribers. Just go ahead, mention it in chat that you're looking for that, and we'll hook you up and help you out. Thank you, Ken, for tonight. It was good. We got to light George Washington on fire, and that
blew his goddamn head off.
I am so pleased.
It's a thing that happened. That's a thing someone did tonight.
I killed the president of the United States.
I mean, I feel like it was Alpha Model Standard Army issue George Washington bought, but
I mean, you could take that up with Chris, but I think that's how he would describe him too.
I mean, it's kind of like an AI. Just don't look at the hands.
Yeah. Just don't be concerned with the 6 fingers wrapping around themselves and turning into a thigh
backwards, and the teeth that are made of fingers. Cool. Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll catch you next time. Good night.
You were all a delight, and this was horrifying.
Change.